farms are deployed in Ulanqab. There is also sufficient green energy resources, laying a foundation for the future carbon peak and carbon neutrality. Companies here can enjoy the best electricity price that leads to optimal OPEX. The average temperature throughout the year is only 4.3 degrees Celsius. Then that means a lot of time, but throughout the year, the data centers can use natural cooling sources. The PUE can be reduced to as low as 1.1. Also, Ulanqab has the high-tech development zone. Ulanqab plans to deploy 6 computing power centers near campuses of hospitals and schools, and there is also great supporting systems such as hospitals, schools here, offering a great environment for talent to live here. We also have the optical cables connecting Beijing. China Mobile, China Unicom have upgraded Ulanqab to be a provincial switch node. Also, Ulanqab is making effort to provide the most enabling business environment. We would like to offer the efficient and the simple public service access experience to our to enterprises. We have also implemented the Project Butler mechanism to make the procedure of business easier for enterprises. Ulanqab government has rolled out a series of enabling policies regarding operations, talent development, land use, etc. We hope to get more enterprises here. We also set up the committee to develop digital economy and set up a library of digital economy experts. Big data will encourage a great transformation. Big data is also the critical strategic decision by Ulanqab. We believe that after projects being implemented, after enterprises deploy their business here, after data centers are developed in Ulanqab, our city will embrace vibrant development. It has the foundation to really become the cloud valley on grassland. Data centers are gathering in clusters here. Huawei, Apple, Alibaba, Kuaishou are deploying business here. The total investment has reached 73.2 billion yuan. And also the government cloud of Inner Mongolia has been deployed. In 2021, we have become one of the nodes of Inner Mongolia. And we have the right industry chain in place. With data centers deployed, industry will also welcome different enterprises, different service providers, involving online education, software development, IDC, O&M, etc. Tongfang Technology, Anheng Technology, and Xinyueda rack manufacturers are all developing their presence here. Baidu has incubated over 60 companies in Ulanqab. The entire industry chain involving the upper and the lower stream are coming into being. We are now injecting the momentum into digital economy development, and that serves as the foundation for the future competitiveness. At this critical junction, we would like to develop 5 types of economy and to further boost the development of digital economy and really build the cloud Ulanqab. We will capture the opportunity of the Eastern Data, Western Compute initiative and capture all the opportunities that comes with it. Our plan in the future is to enhance the computing power foundation. We will keep building supercomputing center and data centers. And we would like to encourage the high-density deployment of data centers and the intensive deployment of data centers, hoping that we can build an ecosystem that coordinate the West and the East part of the computing power community. What's more, we want to increase the use of idle computing power. Second, we would like to become a highland of green computing power supply. That means we will manage the life cycle of the computing power and increase the coordination throughout the life cycle. We want to achieve the optimal cost, want to build the infrastructure that features low carbon. And that's how we will fulfill our mission to deliver computing power to the eastern part of China. And additionally, we would like to introduce the new cooling data center facility, the network, and other intelligent systems. Also, we cannot neglect the high-performance servers, drones, and communication systems. With all these systems, we can increase the competitiveness of computing power industry. Fourth, we will also develop the storage industry, including the PV storage and other hardware manufacturers are welcome here. Blu-ray storage is a focus of us. For the Hebei and the northern part of China, we'd like to provide hot and cold backup and disaster recovery services. Also, another plan for us in the future is to develop big data services. That means we would like to further mine data to enhance the development of natural language processing to really become a hub or foundation of data cleansing. In addition, we would like to also introduce the cultural industry and other services. And we would like to optimize the mix in the market to turn the market from labor-intensive into technology-intensive. Big data requires security of storage, compute throughout the entire life cycle. Then we will keep enhancing the encryption and tracking to make sure security is implemented throughout the entire life cycle. What's more, we plan to have more talents. We offer the training base to increase the practical skills of digital talents, and we will also encourage academic, industries, enterprises to play their role in talent development. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, today, Ulan Quab
we are implementing the spirit and the important guidance from the central government and the General Secretary Xi Jinping in developing the economy of Ulanqab. The big data industry of Ulanqab has a promising future and a great prospect. I'd like to encourage people to take the opportunity and seize the strength of Ulanqab, follow us closely, and I also hope that you can play the role as a bridge and to attract more enterprises to Ulanqab so that's to share these dividends of the time together with Ulanqab. Last but not least, I wish a successful convening of this summit and I wish you health and success. Thank you very much. Thank you, Deputy Mayor, for your fantastic remarks.
Dong, Director of the Board of Huawei, President of Huawei Digital Power, to have the welcome speech. 现在我们隆重邀请华为公司董
Distinguished guests, friends joining online, good afternoon. Welcome to the picturesque city of Ulaanbaatar to attend the 2023 Global Smart Green Data Center Summit. On behalf of Huawei Technologies and Huawei Digital Power Company, I'd like to extend a warm welcome to all of you and a thank you for your trust and support to Huawei. Thanks to your help, Huawei's digital power business has achieved rapid growth over the past few years. In 2022, Huawei Digital Power's annual revenue was more than 50 billion yuan, of which the year-on-year growth of data center facility exceeded more than 60%, which have become one of the main engines for growth. These achievements cannot be possible without the full support of all customers and partners. Once again, I'd like to express heartfelt thanks to all of you. At the beginning of this year, AI applications with ChatGPT as the representative has set off a trend of artificial intelligence and has begun to change the way we work and live. But on the other hand, we do see the surge in the demand for AI computing power. We see a shift from ordinary computing power to intelligent computing power. Moreover, a new round of industrial tech revolution and transformation are taking place. All industries are accelerating industry digital transformation. Digital transformation is taking place not just in the supporting system, but the production system. And it serves as the driving force for the new round of industrial revolution. Around the world, there are more than 20 million data center cabinets, more than 10 million communication sites. The number of connectivity and computing power in the future will double. And that means emerging industries such as data centers and other energy infrastructure will experience explosive growth. We believe that computing power is productivity, and intelligent computing power equals innovation power. At the same time, we also forecast a surge in electricity consumption. ICT industry will account for, by 2030, more than 6% of the total electricity consumption of the society, compared with 2% today. So computing power equals electricity. And we need more clean and green electricity to generate more computing power. We will focus on energy efficiency, improvement, shifting from high carbon to low carbon emission, continuously increase bits, reduce watts, and reduce emissions, and to continuously reduce energy consumption and emission per bit. We incorporate these concepts into our products and solutions so as to help the industry build green, low carbon, and reliable energy infrastructure. The energy is to support the sustainable development of humanity, and it needs to transform continuously. Low carbon, electrification, intelligent, and digitalization are the 4 key factors for energy transformation. The digital and energy worlds will converge in depth. The energy industry has entered a new era of digital power. Huawei Digital Power Company is committed to integrating bit, watt, heat, and battery technologies, which we summarize as 4T technologies. It will target the building of a new power system. We know that in the past, the power system is outdated, but we are now adopting new form of energy, such as wind and PV, to replace the conventional energy of fossil fuels. Facing new mobility infrastructure to support electric vehicle and charging infrastructure, and also facing the new data center infrastructure. We are making great efforts in building those infrastructure, and we will make more efforts in building competitive products and solutions and collaborate with partners to lead the industry. In terms of R&D, we will continue investing heavily. In 2023, the number of Huawei's digital power R&D department personnel will exceed 6,000, with R&D budget of more than $1 billion. We position ourselves as a product-oriented tech company and leverage our accumulation in technologies. We will integrate digital and power electronics technologies, combine information and energy flows, collaborate with partners, and provide customers around the world with all-scenario, low-carbon products and solutions. We believe that leading products and solutions are our core competitivenesses and the driving forces for industry development. In Ulan, Huawei has built the largest data center that features the latest indirect evaporative cooling, fusion power 6000, and many other new technologies with the PUE down to 1.15. But after the introduction of AI, we aim at further reducing the PUE. In terms of energy efficiency, as cloud business booms, the reliability of data centers have become even higher. Reliability, in our view, is key to the data center infrastructure and the overarching priority. And also on the service life, the data centers usually have a life of more than 10 years. So how are we going to make sure our infrastructure of the data center have longer life? That raises an even higher requirement on the solution reliability. Today, we will launch 2 products later, and you're welcome to experience them. In terms of ecosystem, we believe that the digital power industry is a huge one that centers on ecosystem, and ecosystem is at the core of Huawei digital power strategy. From construction, operation, integration, operation and maintenance, we are looking at a long chain of industry. Huawei digital power will be committed to our business boundary and focus on the core businesses, continuously innovate in technologies and products, and build customer-oriented solutions, as well as industry ecosystem. We will continue to work with customers to carry out tech innovation. Yesterday in our discussion, we plan to build the world's first data center facility that features coordination between the power source, grid load, and storage. We aim at architectural innovation of data centers, such as how we're going to reduce the number of battery and the diesel generator for backup power. We aim at collaborating with partners to provide high-quality solutions to customers. The power supply and the data center facility have differentiated solutions for different scenarios. So we want to collaborate with different industries to jointly develop solutions. We also want to work with local partners to bring the local industries to a new height. Around the world, we are ready to work with local partners and build local products and solutions and services so that local partners can provide professional services. We also will work with universities to train talent and raise the awareness of digital power technologies. Third, in terms of customer support, we have deployed professional service teams in more than 170 countries and regions around the world. Through enablement for partners, we will jointly improve capabilities and serve customers well together with partners and create value for customers. A priority for us this year is that we are building our dedicated service team for 170 plus countries around the world. In particular, we want to build the team that is oriented towards the sales partners. And this will be our top priority this year. As a foundation for a digital world, the data center facility industry will keep booming. We will embrace carbon neutrality and build green, smart data centers and promote sustainable development of the industry. This is our pursuit and also the shared mission of the whole industry. Finally, we hope to work with customers and partners and seize the opportunities given by the time, continue to innovate, and jointly lead the industry development. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Ho, for your remarks.
Of Global Marketing, Sales and Services, Huawei Digital Power, to make a speech on computing power leads development, win the low carbon smart future. 接下来，让我们欢迎华为高级副总裁、华为数字能源全球营销服务体系总裁杨友贵先生为我们带来"算力引领发展，共赢低碳，智能未来"的主题发言。掌声有请。
各位领导
Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, experts, good afternoon. Thank you for traveling all the way to Ulanqab to attend the Global Smart Green Data Center Summit 2023. We know that in the next 30 years, there are many uncertainties, but there are three directions that we are certain about. First is low carbon, digitalization, and intelligent development. Then digitalization and intelligent development are based on data center facility. That's why Huawei is happy to work with customers and the partners in the industry to capture this opportunity. We are incredibly lucky because we are in a great time. It's a time where digital economy is booming. In 2022, China's digital economy reached 50.2 trillion yuan, representing 41.5% of the GDP. The scale and the contributions of the digital economy to the GDP are now ranked second in the world. An academic, a scientist on the cybernetics in the US, Norbert Wiener, believes that there are three basic elements of human society. That's matter, energy, and information. Then the world is made up of matter. Energy is driving force of all material movement, and information is how human understands the nature and human society. Digital world is not just a reflection of the physical world, but digital economy is actually driving the development of the physical world. Let's take a look at the example. That's the ChatGPT. Why ChatGPT is bringing changes and challenges to the world? Because ChatGPT consists of 175 billion parameters in the models. What does this mean? It's double as the number of neurons in the human brain. And it requires 20,000 high-performance GPUs to process the data. ChatGPT consumes 250 million kilowatt-hour of power every year, which costs $50 million in the electricity bill. It's ChatGPT requires 3,640 pflops day computing power. The most powerful AI cluster is in Shenzhen. If we use that AI cluster to run ChatGPT, then one session will last for 3 days in a row, around the clock. So computing power and electricity together change the world. They are behind ChatGPT. In 21 provinces last year, they have deployed the supercomputing center. In addition to AI technologies, big data, and autonomous driving that come in the future will also lead to the exponential growth of data. One autonomous driving vehicle will generate 40 terabytes of data in one day. If all the vehicles in the world drive autonomously for one day, then they will generate the amount of data that is more than the total amount of data as of today around the world. That's why it's estimated by 2030, the global general computing power will increase by 10 times and the AI computing power increase by 500 times. Data center capacity will grow from 46 gigawatt today to 120 gigawatt by 2030, and the addressable market of the global data center infrastructure will reach $500 billion. Data centers are facing many challenges. First, data centers consumes a lot of energy. Last year, the energy consumption of China's data center reached 270 billion kilowatt hour, accounting for one-third of the total energy consumption in China. By 2030, this number will probably double according to our estimation. And also the TTM of data centers is very long. If we use traditional methods of construction, it typically takes several years to deploy data centers. I traveled to CE and Nordic, Finland, Malaysia in the SEA. I found that all data centers are required to be deployed in 10 months. Then how can we shorten the DTM? The third challenge is the difficult O&M. Data centers have to deal with an increasing amount of data, and the scale of data centers is increasing. We need talents to operate data centers. Today, there is still a 53% gap in the talent supply in the field of data center. Another challenge will be reliability. Data centers need to offer security and reliability. Data centers should prioritize security and reliability instead of cost. Maybe you still remember last year in June, SK's data centers were caught on fire. Then Kiko, the chat app, and also the online transaction app were not available, impacting a large number of users. Then the president apologized on the second day, and the CEO of the company was removed from the position. So data centers in the future must prioritize reliability and security, not cost, because data centers typically have a longer than 10 years service life. If there is one incident throughout the 10 year, a company may be at the extreme disadvantaged position. And this is why offering ultra reliability should be the pursuit of all data centers. Huawei has discussed with many experts in China and outside China, and we have defined the next generation data centers. After 1 year survey and the practice, we believe that the next generation data centers defined by us can meet our future requirement. The next generation data centers should be green, simple, smart, and reliable. Then how can data centers be green? Data centers should be using green energy sources. The efficiency of energy use should be high, and resources throughout the entire life cycle should be recyclable. Data centers in the future should have simple architecture. A large data center will be modularized. Then they can be deployed fast. Also, we'll use intelligence to increase the security of O&M. Later, I will use my deck to elaborate on our concept and practices around the world. First, being green. I remember on May the 23rd, I joined Mr. Yang Jie here in Ulanqab to visit the officials of the municipal government. And the government said that we have great climate, and the average annual temperature is only 4.3 degrees Celsius in Ulanqab. Then it's a great place for us to build the grid storage and load generation, we are able to build the very first data center in China that uses only PV and the wind powers. Our EHU can save 60% of water and even uses no water. Our compressor only needs to work for a month, while for all other times we can use natural cooling sources. People pay a lot of attention to PUE, but what about WUE and CUE? If we pay close attention to PUE, even if we can reduce it to 1.1, there will still be strong emission if we're still running on the hydrocarbonates. We have done a lot to be green. The first I would like to share with you is a project in the UAE. I used to be the head of the Middle East before I joined Digital Power. We signed with a contract with the local authority to build the very first data center that uses only solar power. The agreement targets to have 5 gigawatt PV plant by 2030. It's the largest in the world. There will be a 100 megawatt data center be deployed in 10 phases. All the 100 megawatt will run on PV's power. The first phase will provide 1.8 gigawatt power, and that saves a lot of energy consumption for the country. We will keep expanding our cooperation in both data centers and PV farms. Then second, we would like to be simple. ChatGPT, TikTok are growing fast. It takes only 2 months for ChatGPT to have more than 100 million users. TikTok uses 3 years to cover 155 countries around the world. Usually, their development time is shorter than 10 months. Then what we do today is to change the traditional construction way. We use the prefabricated modules. Then most of the modules can be prefabricated in the factories. We also offer the power module, the fusion power, the transformers, UPS, the switch cabinets. In total, 22 cabinets need to be stacked together in the past, but we combine them in one together. We only use 11 units of cabinets. That saves the footprint by 40%. What does this mean? This allows larger space to deploy the IT equipment, and also TTM is shortened from 2 months to 2 weeks. PUE is down by 10%. We cannot neglect the 10% reduction of the PUE. 60% of the cost throughout the data center lifecycle comes from power supply. That PUE reduction helps us to save the future electricity bill. The modularization and simplification will be the key. The Shenzhen project has the world's fastest AI computing cluster. It is the first AI computing cluster that uses prefabricated module. It got the approval in May 2022. Then in October, the entire data center went online. It only took 5 months and a half. When President Xi attended the 40 years celebration anniversary of Shenzhen, he also visited the AI cluster. The PUE of this data center is only 1.25, even if it's deployed in Shenzhen. It's a subtropical city. We have deployed many data centers with prefabricated modules. Prefabricated modules will be key for data center deployment in the future. Then data centers in the future will also be smart. O&M is challenging, and there is a gap in the talent, as I mentioned. Then what should we do? We use digital technologies and AI to standardize O&M so that the best practices of O&M can be consolidated. A data center with 2,000 racks require 2 hours of manual query. But if we use AI, 3 minutes, the task will be done, 3 to 5 minutes specifically. Then AI can help us to achieve optimal energy efficiency. An example will be the energy efficiency optimization in Langfang Cloud data center. We deployed a data center with 4,000 racks in Langfang. At that time, the PUE was 1.42. After 2 years of operation, the PUE was reduced to 1.25. How did we achieve this? In the past, our O&M relied on the human engineers. Well, it's difficult to find the right talents, we all know that. And also, human engineers can only monitor maybe 10 parameters. It probably takes days and even weeks for a human engineer to propose an optimization proposal. But with AI, one engineer is able to monitor over 1,000 parameters. Then also many proposals optimization can be raised. If there is a drop in the temperature, maybe a drop by 10 degrees Celsius, then the AI will kick in and propose you the right recommendations of optimization on the very same day. AI helps to improve our energy efficiency and operation.
一个安全。
Last but not least, reliability. What I want to share with you is a promise. Our promise is that we take reliability and high quality as our top priority. We also seek your support. Let's not try to get into a price war so that the bad money drives out good money. What Huawei prefers instead is that we adopt AI and big data analysis for proactive reliability management. We should deploy probes for all the critical components so that the temperature, current, and voltage can be monitored. And then AI can be adopted to infer the possible fault of these critical components, and we can turn it off before the fault really takes place. Second, architectural security. So from equipment, device, to the system, we have different levels of reliability. Let me give you one final example. Huawei Cloud data center in Gui'an, which will house more than 1 million servers and 200,000 cabinets. In this case, we adopt 100% lithium batteries. You understand perfectly that compared with lead-acid batteries, lithium batteries have a lot of advantages, such as more compact, faster charging and discharging, and longer life. But why are people not using it? Because of the concern for reliability of lithium batteries. But Huawei uses lithium batteries and promotes it in the industry because we have 5 levels of protection. Number 1, battery cell. We use the LFP cells that have 250 to 480 degrees Celsius of the thermal runaway threshold. Number 2, we string cells and insulate them with plastic materials to ensure that the cells don't interfere with each other. Number 3, on the pack level, we put 5 cells in one pack. If there is problem, we use gas fire suppression. Number 4, system level protection. We are promoting water fire suppression. In UAE, Germany, and China, we are promoting water fire suppression. No other vendor does this. We do this not because of our worry, but because if you look at the lithium batteries characteristics, which is there is always a likelihood of fire no matter what protection is in place. So in that extreme case of fire, we use water to reduce temperature. In my discussion with the Asia-Pacific regulators, they highly recognize Huawei's practice of water fire suppression for lithium batteries. And here I want to seek your support because I think it is vital to everyone. Then I have 4 more slides that I want to share with you. When faced with immense opportunities, choosing the right partner is critical. So I will convince you why Huawei is your preferred partner with 4 slides. Huawei Digital Power Company was established in 2021 with a vision of integrating digital and power electronics technologies, developing clean power, and enabling energy digitalization to drive energy revolution for a better, greener future. We focus on three directions: data center facility and critical power, clean power generation, including our PV and energy storage. Thirdly, mobility electrification, including the charging facility and the e-powertrain for the electric vehicles. These industries are booming. Just now, as Mr. Ho said, we established in 2021 the company, and in year one, our revenue was $4.7 billion US. Last year was year two, $7 billion US, and this year, more than $10 billion US. That rapid development of Huawei Digital Power is attributed to the industry development and also three other factors. Number one, Huawei has 30+ years of accumulation and has built a world-leading tech ecosystem. As Mr. Ho said, we invest more in R&D than any other companies in the world. Last year, Huawei Group revenue was $100 billion US, and the R&D investment was $25 billion US. So you have 25% of the total revenue in the R&D development. The proportion ranks number one, and the 25 billion in dollar term is number two in the world. So that we survived the restrictions that have been imposed on us over the past 5 years. So our promise to you is that no matter what changes take place in geopolitics, we are there to provide end-to-end world-leading stable supply system. No other company has this boldness to make this promise. Reason number two, our vision is to integrate digital and power electronics technologies and create value for customers. I give you the example of eye cooling, which features AI that dropped the PUE from 1.42 to 1.25. Let me give you another example of energy generation. In Gonghe County, Qinghai Province, there is the world's largest PV power plant of 2.2 gigawatt. It covers an area of 56 square kilometers with more than 5 million PV modules. Manual inspection of all the PV modules takes 5 months. But today, with AI, digital technologies, and connectivity technologies, that inspection takes only 15 minutes. So from 5 months to 15 minutes, that's not only a massive improvement of O&M efficiency, more importantly, faults can be found in real time and the yield can be increased. That is the benefit of the integration between digital and power electronics technologies. In the world, Huawei ranks number one in all the digital companies. In hundreds of power electronics companies, Huawei is not number one, but at the top. But there's only Huawei that is both the leader in digital and the power electronics. This is my reason number two. My reason number three, over the 36-year history of Huawei, we have grown from a small company to a world-class one, and we have the world-leading philosophy for management that can serve as a good reference for all other companies. When faced with immense opportunity, it is vital to choose the right partners. If your partners are stronger than you, then partners will lead you to the new height. If you are stronger than your partners, then you are what you can, and the partners can go to the most extreme. And there are a lot that Huawei can offer you. Data centers have a life cycle of more than 10 years. So when choosing partners, think about if this company will still exist 10 years from now. And my answer to you is that Huawei will not only be there, but also will serve as your guide to future success. My final slide, I've shared this many times, but I just cannot help sharing it again. This is a quote from Vice President and Prime Minister of UAE. While others try to predict the future, we create it. So looking into the next 3 decades, the data center facility industry will grow steadily and play an even more important role for the digital economy and digital society. So governments, industries, customers, partners, and Huawei should join hands and build green, simple, smart, and reliable data centers. For this time and for each and every company. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Charles Yang, for your wonderful remarks. Next, let's welcome Dr. Li, Executive Director of Energy Studies Institute, National University of Singapore, on the stage to present keynote speech, Top 10 Data Center Development Driving Forces.
Li, Executive Director of Energy Studies Institute, National University of Singapore, to come on stage and to present keynote speech about top 10 driving forces for data center development. Let's welcome.
A very good afternoon to everyone. Today we'll explore the 10 key factors shaping data center development in 2023. First, let me run through the outline of the 10 key factors that we'll be discussing today. First, sustainability. In a recent report, 87% of business leaders expressed that they are prioritizing ESG. This will definitely lead to the greater adoptions of sustainable solutions. Second, we have a hyperscaler or hyperscale data centers, which are built for scalability to manage the growing data volume. Third in the list is edge computing. With a lower latency, demands spur local, smaller data centers deployment. And the fourth key factor is 5G networks, which offers improved network performance and data security. Fifth, we have multi-cooling modes. High-temperature chill waters and indirect evaporative cooling are still important practical solutions to improve energy efficiency of data centers. While as the thermal design powers of chips increases, liquid cooling provides increased efficiencies and reduces the carbon footprint. Fifth in the list is AI and the generative AI demand, which fuels the evolution with high power requirements, enhanced efficiencies, and optimized resource use. The seventh key factors is digital twin, which actually simulates the scenarios in a virtual mode, thereby actually allowing the conservation of energy and extending the equipment life. The eighth key factor is automations and DevOps, which boosts productivity through automated processes and integrated practices. The ninth key factor is talent shortage. The upscaling and attracting of new talents to the data center industries is important to ensure its continued growth. And the last key factor is security. Right? Superior data security is achieved through security by design approach and device identities on chips. Let's dive deeper into each of these key factors, examining its industry's business and environmental impacts. First, let's discuss the sustainability. So achieving true sustainability in data centers requires following the ESG goals. This involves adopting green practices, which ensures sustainability, efficiency, client relations, tenant standards, and align business and social incentives. Implementing renewable energy is a crucial step for data centers to achieve sustainability as it reduces its carbon footprint. Real-world applications illustrate this shift. By 2025, it's estimated that 21% of the global data center electricity demand will be met by solar and wind energy. The market response is positive. The green data center market is projected to reach $233.87 billion USD by 2029, growing at a compounded annual growth rate of 18.9%. Clearly, sustainability is a major factor shaping the data center landscape. Next, let's focus on the increasing dominance of the hyperscale data centers. Hyperscale data centers offer scalability for growing data volumes. As of 2021, there were 728 global hyperscale data centers. This number is expected to reach about 1,000 by 2024. Businesses are shifting from enterprise data centers, focusing more on core competencies than data center management. As per a 2022 report, enterprises are reluctant to invest millions in data center constructions and operations. Here, hyperscale computing plays its part, enabling companies to swiftly scale IT resources. Hyperscale data centers provide on-demand IT infrastructure, allowing firms to adjust IT capacity based on demand. Major players in hyperscale data centers include the usual suspect, Amazon, Facebook, Google, and Microsoft. Challenges exist, though, notably around security and building customer trust. However, the capacity to meet increased computing and storage demands with improved energy efficiencies is steering the industry towards hyperscale data centers. Hyperscale data center can promote the digital economy and infrastructure while concurrently achieving sustainability goals. Next up, we have edge computing, which is a pivotal trend in data center evolution. Edge computing positions network resources and computing power closer to the end user, shifting power from central data centers to the edge where data is generated. Factors driving the edge computing adoption includes low latency and data privacy needs, the spread of 5G, the rise of industrial IoT, data gaps between source and target, the replacement of hardware and software-defined networking (SDN), and network function virtualization (NFV), and the demand for video streaming and AR/VR application. This trend has led to expansion of smaller, distributed data centers at the network edge, with the numbers projected to double from 9% today to 20% within 2 to 3 years. Various types of data center can be deployed for edge computing, depending on latency requirements and the distance from users and devices. Edge computing expedites the deployment of 5G and IoT and support businesses and industry dependent on digital infrastructure. Next, let's discuss the impact and potential of 5G networks on data centers. The advent of 5G, paired with edge computing, presents opportunities to enhance digital experiences, improve performance, bolster data security, and enable continuous operation across various industries, further justifying edge computing. 5G simplifies network speeds, amplifies network speeds, with edge computing notably reducing latency. To achieve the high speed promised by 5G, reliance on edge computing is critical. By storing data locally, edge computing secures a 5G network from hackers and technical failures. 5G supported by edge computing reduces latency by minimizing data travel to the centralized cloud. And 5G impacts data centers by demanding increased computing capacity and associated infrastructure like storage, connectivity, and edge computing support. Many data centers are currently observing the 5G rollout due to existing architecture's flexibility. Data center can study the effects of 5G on existing technologies like network functions, virtualization, and software-defined networking to ensure they can accommodate the increased workload. Moreover, data centers can augment their lifecycle upgrade the processes by replacing simpler networking hardware with 5G-capable ones. In essence, 5G network fast-track edge computing infrastructure, enhancing local digital ecosystem and influencing the traditional business ecosystems. The fifth trend in the data center evolution is the implementation of effective cooling methods. With rising thermal design power per chip and intense workloads, there's a demand for advanced cooling solutions like liquid cooling. Liquid cooling fulfills this demand, improving energy efficiency and managing the heat more effectively. As reported by AFCOM in 2021, there's focus on increasing rack density with expansion of AI and ML, requiring high computational loads. This advanced cooling technology becomes crucial, Since 2000, cooling technology have evolved. Techniques like direct-to-chip liquid cooling and immersion cooling can cool racks up to 50 kilowatts. But at the same time, we can also find that from the recent Uptime report that the proportion of racks below 25 kilowatt is still very high, in fact, more than 80%, while racks above 25 kilowatt only accounts for less than 20%. So data centers cooling technology is showing a trend of multi-path development. For the general computing sector, increasing the operating temperatures of servers, increasing the water temperature of true water, as well as the adoptions of indirect evaporative cooling technology are practical means to improve energy efficiency of data center cooling today. And cooling currently consumes between 30 to 35% of total energy usage in data center. Liquid cooling significantly reduces this, offering high density with lower overall energy consumption. It provides superior cooling performance, increase the hardware reliability and life, improve power, water, and carbon usage effectiveness, and extends the asset's life. However, there are actually challenges. The adoption of liquid cooling introduces unique issues, and operators may be hesitant to take the associated risks. The key is instilling confidence and demonstrating the benefit of these solutions. The sixth trend revolves around the growing demand for AI and generative AI in data centers. AI and GAI technology have the potential to enhance data center efficiency by up to 40% in the near future. These technologies are employed for various tasks, including better visibility, decision-making, and automation, workload distribution, failure detections, and prevention and energy optimization. They provide a configurable and customizable platform to efficiently handle a wide range of modern workloads. In a notable example, DeepMind trained an AI agent called bCooler to optimize cooling processes in Google data center. After a 3-month experiment, bCooler achieved approximately 12.7% energy savings. Equinix, another real example, has invested in AI and ML to optimize their IBX, DX, and global operation. They developed anomaly detection model to predict assets with abnormal operating conditions, improve assets' lifespan, reducing costs, and lowering energy consumption. On the other hand, data centers hosting generative AI platforms like ChatGPT requires high power and 3 times the power densities of conventional data processing. These necessitate architectural changes and sophisticated supporting cooling systems. The 7th trend is the digital twin technology. Digital twin technology creates virtual models of data centers, facilitate enhancement of efficiency and operational performance. It centralizes data, contributing to improved efficiency and reliability. Additionally, it provides proactive maintenance and fault detections, guiding decision-making and generating valuable insights from data. Digital twin technology drives sustainable growth by exploring and simulating performance, financial and environmental trade-off. The Sustainable Tropical Data Center at the National University of Singapore that I'm actually leading is an example. So this Sustainable Data Center utilizes digital twin technology for real-time monitoring and optimization through the sub-models. Digital twin technology represents various data centers components such as power, cooling, and IT equipment. It simulates their physical behavior and leverages real-time data to train AI systems for tasks like resource allocation and automated data center cooling. In summary, data centers or digital twin technology allows the monitoring of real-time interactions between components and systems and subsystems, and optimizing the energy usage. It also enables faster deployment of new data centers and retrofits of existing ones, facilitating the growth and the development of future data center infrastructure. The 8th trend is automation and DevOps. Automation and DevOps practices significantly enhance productivity, efficiency, and reduce the need for extensive human resources. Cognitive systems, including robots and drones, are being deployed in edge data centers. These intelligent autonomous systems handle tasks like data collections and security, augmenting human capabilities. According to a 2021 report, 40% of data centers providers plan to deploy robotic systems. Global spending on such systems increased by 17.1% to $130 billion in 2020 and is projected to reach $241.4 billion by 2023. Automation enables high-resolution monitoring of data centers, enhances the operational capabilities, integrates AI ops, and enhances data center security, tasks that are challenging for human alone. It's estimated that by 2025, about 80% of traditional data centers will be closed down, with the remaining 50% increasing their efficiency by approximately 30% through automation. DevOps practices are also crucial, aiming to automate everything, making 100% automations the standard for DevOps-based organizations. There's a focus on flexible team formation and utilizing tools for every task in the DevOps data center environment. Proper DevOps practices foster a highly aligned working culture, enable efficient management of the data center environment, rapid response to changing scenarios, and a scalable data center's capacity. Next up, we have a talent shortage. A diverse and resilient workforce is crucial for the development of data center industries. The estimated workforce needed is expected to grow from approximately 2 million to nearly 2.3 million by 2025. This highlights the necessity of developing training programs and collaborating with academic institutions. Institutional training can tap into the talent pool at an early stage. Encouraging schools and colleges to incorporate hands-on skills for data center career is essential. Collaborating with university empowers the next generation of data center professionals and talents by providing real-world experiences and readiness. Workforce strength is vital for supporting automations and DevOps practices, as well as meeting operational and technology advancement required by the market. Upscaling the existing workforce and attracting new talent to the industry are also crucial. Building data centers, academies, and partnering with universities to provide education and training programs can help train, retain, and upskill the next generation of data center professionals. Next, we have actually security, which measures at both the network and infrastructure levels. And this is crucial for safeguarding data centers from potential threats. Ensuring network and cybersecurity involve implementing data center IT security access controls and selecting tailored security solutions. Network-level security measures include leveraging firewalls and using appropriate security tools for the job. Ransomware and external threats pose a higher risk of intrusion into data centers at both the network and the infrastructure level. Robust infrastructural security entails following various standards, such as protecting the physical network infrastructure, considering the location of the natural disaster resilience, designing suitable overall plans, and constructing buildings that meet the standards requirements. Infrastructure security also includes secure building management system, BMS, and multi-factor authentication, such as the multi-layer security with limited access points. Implementing security measures on the physical infrastructure, such as monitoring the temperature and humidity, ensuring sufficient insulation on high voltage supplies, restricting access to servers, setting up firewalls, and implementing biometric authorizations are recommended practices to secure data centers in both the physical and the virtual environment. So we have actually explored the top 10 trends shaping the data centers industry in 2023. From sustainability to automation and the rise of AI, generative AI, these trends are pivotal in shaping the future of our industry. Looking ahead is evidence that these trends hold great potentials and require immediate attention. Data centers must prioritize the adoptions of current and adaptable technologies to meet the growing market demands and sustainability goals. Industry relying on data center services are setting up ambitious sustainability targets, necessitating the use of renewable energy sources and advanced cooling solutions to reduce the carbon footprints and improve energy efficiency. Achieving these goals requires collaboration between government, data center operators, and the wider industry community to establish supportive legislation, incentive, and share best practices. Furthermore, the implementation of AI, ML, digital twin, and automation can enhance the security, control, operation, optimization of data center infrastructure. In conclusion, the future of data centers relies on technology innovation, sustainability efforts, and collective actions. It's a call to action for all stakeholders in the data center ecosystem to contribute to this future. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for Dr. Lee's excellent speech. 各位，华为在数据中心能源领域深耕多年，致力打造绿色、极简、智能、安全的数据中心。此次论坛，华为又将带来哪些解决方案的创新？ Now let's welcome Mr. Fei Zhenfu, President of Huawei Data Center Facility Domain, to present keynote speech about ultimate efficiency, all-chain reliability. 接下来，我们请出华为数据中心能源领域总裁费真福先生进行极致能效、全链安全的主题发言，掌声有请。
尊敬的
Distinguished guests and friends on site and online, good afternoon. It is my great pleasure to see both old and new friends today. So I'd like to make a self-introduction first. Fei Zhenfu, meaning to cherish happiness in Chinese. I'm responsible for the data center facility domain, and it's my great honor to share with you the achievements that we have made over the past 2 years. Just now, Charles shared Huawei next generation data center facility design philosophy. Last year, based on that philosophy, we launched Huawei Fusion Power 6000. It is worry-free, visible, and maintainable. It's highly reliable. It saves footprint by about 40%. It saves time because the TTM has been shortened from 2 months to 2 weeks. And it saves power. It has the SECO model efficiency of 99.1%. So, the Fusion Power 6000 has won high recognition by carriers, colo, financial customers, and high-end manufacturers. Right now, we have shipped more than 1,000 Fusion Power 6000 with a 2 gigawatt-hour of capacity. So, I want to sincerely thank all the customers who chose the Huawei Fusion Power 6000. Thank you for your trust and support, with which we are motivated to continuously develop high-quality products. Moreover, Huawei's Smart Li is equally excellent. It is highly dense and intelligent, and also industry's first one with the cybersecurity certification for the social public security products. We have shipped more than 1.5 million sets of Smart Li with 0.9 gigawatt-hour of capacity. All that is past this prologue. Our innovation has never stopped. Today, I'll bring you the concept of full chain reliability and the 2 new products. Number 1, full chain reliability. Let's look at challenges first. We know that 5G, AI, and the cloud development have made data centers hyperscale, and reliability should become the prerequisite for data centers. However, in the past few years, there have been some misunderstandings in the industry. People believe that when you have the cloud era, 2 active DCs in the same city, and it seems that there is less requirement on the reliability for data center facility. And as a result, the industry has embraced a low price competition. The monthly rent per kilowatt has been dropping. This has led to more risks for data centers. 1 data center in Guangzhou, 1 data center in Hong Kong, and 1 data center in Singapore experienced business outage more than 10 hours. All of that was because of the ignorance to reliability. In actual fact, in the cloud era, data centers are becoming ever bigger, and reliability should be the essential factor because they are housing more businesses, such as payment, education, healthcare, and many other fundamental industries. So we believe reliability is fundamental to data centers. So how are we going to ensure reliability of Huawei data center facility products? First of all, we believe that reliability is not only about the results, but the process. Dr. Demin, the father of total quality management, said quality comes not from inspection, but from the improvement of the production process. That means from design, development, test, production, supply to service, reliability need to be ensured in each and every step, rather than relying solely on inspection. So next, I will share with you Huawei data center facility products practices in terms of quality management. First, in design and development phases, we carried out full risk analysis. For data center facility business, there are several factors to consider: the grid, the environment, the load, among many others. So we must carry out full risk analysis because only when you do that kind of analysis will it be possible to eliminate those risks during the design and development. In terms of hardware and software design, Huawei follows several principles. For hardware, we follow simple architecture principle. We believe that we need to minimize the fault point to increase reliability. And that must cover all the modules to reduce single point failure. We also need intelligence. So for critical parts, we need to use AI for predictive maintenance so that we can ensure basic reliability for all hardware. For software, Huawei has a dedicated trustworthiness team. We follow 10 principles, such as minimum authorization, minimum trust, and completeness. With these principles, we can make sure that the software is robust, facing external interference. So when it comes to the data center facility products, what's the implementation? Let's take SmartLi as an example. During its development, we analyze from end-to-end perspective the SmartLi's potential faults, such as short circuit of cell, of load, or anomaly of the grid. We identify all risks, and then in the cell, module, pack, cabinet, and system design, we provide our response measures for each and every factor. Only when we implement those principles will we achieve a far higher reliability for Huawei SmartLi products compared with its counterparts in the industry. The next step is testing. All of our products will pass general tests and functional tests. Let me talk about specialized reliability test. We need to identify all risks. Of all the 5 principles I mentioned, faults are being simulated and injection tests are performed to verify the effectiveness of our solution, such as puncture, short circuit, or overheating. We also carry out field tests. All of Huawei data center facility products need to carry out 5 field tests, such as the test in Hainan with high salt fog, in Lhasa with high altitude, and in Mohe with extremely low temperature. Only when you carry out harsh tests in those environments will you be able to find problems. Next, production. If production is not consistent, then design, no matter how good it is, will be futile. Let me give you examples of how we leverage the 30-year experience of Huawei in production. Number one, minimize manual interference. Take Smart Li as an example. During the whole production of Smart Li, starting from battery cell, material picking, cleaning, sorting, soldering, and transportation, there will be faults such as leakage and film damages to the cells. However, these issues do not show themselves immediately, but rather they can show after a long period of time of operation. So, damage can be caused if there is too much manual interference in it. So Huawei carry out 100% automated production. Secondly, during production phase, data is critical. In the production of lithium batteries, massive data volume is generated. For one production line of cells, every day, 500,000 cells of data is generated, including temperature, current, voltage, insulation, etc., etc. This data is usually discarded by our vendors, but Huawei develops big data and AI algorithms to analyze the battery cell data, and on a daily basis, we provide a full view of the production consistency of the battery cells. I've been giving you examples of the Smart Li to talk about our reliability in all phases, but not just for Smart Li. All of our Smart DC facility products have embraced the reliability concept. We follow the IPD process and achieve full chain reliability. So this is the first concept I share with you. Secondly, launch of our new generation indirect evaporative cooling solution EHU. First, on challenges. Talking about cooling, we first think about high PUE and high electricity bills. Let's look at the numbers. Over the 10-year TCO, electricity bill takes up more than 50 to 60%, which is far higher than the O&M and CapEx. And in that electricity tariff, cooling is the biggest part, which is 70%. So reducing PUE is about optimizing cooling. The challenges of cooling include energy efficiency and reliability. There have been lots of accidents that have happened in the industry. One big internet company's DCs in Guangzhou, Hong Kong, and Singapore experienced service outage of more than 10 hours that impacted 100 million of users. A common reason was that chilled water centralized cooling architecture was adopted. This is deadly to the reliability of the data center. People in the industry are aware of this issue of the centralized cooling architecture, which is not efficient and can lead to severe consequences. So the industry is adopting indirect evaporative cooling. However, there are new challenges with this new technology. Number one, as cloudification, 5G, and AI develop, the per cabinet power density is ever increasing. And when that's the case, when cooling is out, the response time is extremely short. We're talking about mid-level or even shorter. In the traditional solution of chilled water, this issue is solved because when the grid is out, there is a cold storage tank that can ensure continuity of cooling. But for indirect evaporative cooling, this has become an issue. Many data center owners told us that when the grid is out during summer, they experience this issue. when the compressor power is out, it takes 3 minutes to restart the compressor, even if the power outage is only 1 millisecond. Secondly, for indirect evaporative cooling, fans are used a lot, and each one takes tens of minutes or even hours for maintenance. We are aware of those challenges, and we have been innovating to resolving those issues. We have variable frequency architecture, wet film humidification, low load dehumidification, refrigerant leakage detection, among many others, to increase reliability. Now we use AI and eye cooling technology to achieve optimal PUE. We also use indirect evaporative cooling to increase energy efficiency and implement distributed architecture. We believe that innovation is the path to excellence. Now we encounter issues for the indirect evaporative cooling. Will we be able to make breakthroughs again? Please watch the video.
This is a short video. It's shorter than 2 minutes. But there are more I would like to elaborate in addition to what has been introduced in the video. The first feature of the EHU of Huawei is green. Being deployed in the Ulanqab, the PUE can be reduced to 1.15 and WE to 0.6. And these two KPIs allowed a project to become a national scale showcase in China. The reason we are able to achieve this is because, first, our fan, the indirect evaporative cooling, maximize the natural cooling sources. The working hours of the compressor will be short throughout the year, only 2 by 72 hours. And we're using the general or the COTS fan in the industry. The RPM, its air volume, and other KPIs are not the optimal solutions. But we are able to redefine the fan, and we develop a new fan specifically for the EHU that increases the air volume by 40% and the peak efficiency by 4.5%. We work with academics in China and outside China and introduced a new heat exchanger, which can achieve the same performance of a heat exchange as metals. It uses softened waters. then we know that chill water might be vulnerable to faults. We adopt distributed architecture to increase the redundancy and security. Regarding equipment, I have mentioned when mains became unavailable, our data center might also be unavailable, but we redefined the power supply architecture. With fan and compressor, we have a UPS, APF, which can kick in right after the mains becomes unavailable. The switchover time is 0 millisecond. Then network security. Data center infrastructure is vulnerable to the incidents, and we don't want to see the downtime in data centers. We have the strongest advantage in network security assurance. Our security technologies are in place to make sure EHU solution of Huawei is always here to protect the security of your facility. Our EHU is the only solution that have won the most critical certification in China and also the critical certification in international markets. Our solution is also simple. First, its deployment is simple because we have transformed the engineering into products. Pipes and other equipment are separated in the past, but our solution is packed together. Then the TTM of the cooling system is shortened from 6 months to 3 months. And our power supply system is also refined, integrating UPS and SVG. One-stop delivery can be done. We have simple deployment and also simple maintenance. Interactive evaporative solution has 30 kilogram fan. Then hours are needed for maintaining 1 unit of fan. 95 of the faults in fans come from the driving module. So we have make the driver hot pluggable. The maintenance now can be done in just 3 minutes. So the maintenance is completed the maintenance is completed on the 1 kilogram module instead of a 30 kilogram fan. We also have introduced the software-defined functions. EHU, or to say evaporative solution, the UPS is deployed. Only 50% of the compressor come with the UPS and battery. When the power density gets higher, the UPS of the compressor might be insufficient. Then maybe all the solutions, all the equipment should kick in. Then UPS ATS cables must be adjusted for larger capacity, but we don't need that. With a simple click on the software, we can simply configure the mix of fan, the mix of compressor that need UPS and battery. This is a great function for flexible scalability. Our solution is also smart. We have design PUE, but design PUE does not mean the realistic PUE. A 12 megawatt data center might need 6 EHU, 6 to 700 fans, and 100 to 200 compressors. So many units of equipment. How can we make sure they can all achieve the optimal PUE? There are tens of thousands of possible combinations of parameters. It's impossible for people to handle it. We have eye cooling to reduce the PUE by 3 to 5%, and that saves 2 million in the electricity cost throughout a year. Then, to sum up our EHU solution, our EHU can achieve 1.15 PUE and 0.5 1.6 WE. It offers full chain reliability, and it comes with simplicity. Its functions are software-based. Its functions are modularized. EHU comes with intelligence to optimize the operation. We believe that Huawei's indirect evaporative cooling solution will be the first choice for customers. That's the first solution I would like to launch. The second solution is iManager M. Last year, we rolled out the Fusion Power 3.0, Smart Lead 3.0, and today we're announcing EHU. In the small and medium data centers and critical facility, we have UPS. Then for the small and medium data centers and critical facility, we're now rolling a new product called iManager M. Let's take a look at a video. But first, let's take a look at the challenges we face. In the small and medium-sized data centers, we know that these data centers are serving the healthcare, the education sectors. Usually, the services are distributed, and that poses difficulties of O&M. There will be gaps in the inspection. It's impossible to have 24/7 inspection. It's usually the school lecturers, the administration staff, or the property managers conduct the inspection. It cannot be done around the clock. Then, low repair efficiency is another pain point. It typically takes a long time to repair the fault in the small and medium-sized data center. Only when there's a downtime, PE engineers will be assigned to check. Another pain point will be high energy consumption. The small and medium DC PUE is between 1.6 to 2. It's higher than the average PUE of a large data center, which is 1.5. The last pain point will be high management cost. Our partners may find that the labor costs, management costs are high after delivering many DC projects. The industry needs a professional and intelligent tool to address all these pain points. Today, we're announcing iManager M.
这2分钟的视频。
After watching this video, maybe you are excited about the solution, but I would like to dive deep into the highlights of our solution. iManager M allows us to conduct inspection easily. It offers 24/7 mobile O&M anytime, anywhere. You can check on the server room anytime, anywhere. And KPIs such as the backup power, duration, the PUE, and other key indicators are demonstrated on the app, and the interactive UI enables a premium user experience. Then iManager M enables easy repair. A case I would like to share with you: there is a server room with 3 ACs. As time goes by, the 3 ACs operate for a long time. Then the cold condenser suffered from a blockage. Gradually, the server room suffered from a downtime due to the high temperature inside the room. Then later, we realized there was a downtime in the server room, but with iManager M, the issue could have been avoided. iManager M, on a monthly basis, issues a health report. It conducts the health check on all equipment, just like the health care that we take. Then this health check is done on a monthly basis. Then the report will be distributed to you on the app and the WeChat.
华为
Second, proactive notification. Huawei iManager M pushes all the equipment status and the potential faults to the O&M team immediately. Number 3, fault recovery. In one building, there were 2 small UPS. One of them kept reporting the fault of the grid, while the other appears normal through cloud connection. Now, the big data algorithm tells the customer's O&M team that the terminal on that UPS may have some problems. Please go ahead and check it. So that fault recovery is very fast, and we can locate the cause for more than 90% of the faults and provide immediate remedies. Number 3, energy saving. Small and medium DC PUE between 1.6 to 2.0, but we use AI to drop the PUE by 15%. Last but not least, simple deployment. iManager M platform requires no extra hardware, server, modem, or SIM card. No need for any of those because it's all built in. So software, hardware, and manual costs can be greatly saved. This is very good for centralized management. In summary, Huawei Mobile Intelligent Management Solution features enjoyable, reliable, smart, and simple. We believe that iManager M will be our partners and the customers' professional O&M tools. So today I share with you full chain reliability, indirect evaporative cooling, and iManager M. Last but not least, I want to say is that in the era where data centers are booming, there are plenty of opportunities as well as uncertainties. Huawei Data Center Facility will continuously innovate and collaborate with industry peers to inject certainty into this industry. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Fei, and please remain on stage. Coming up, a very exciting launch of Huawei Indirect Evaporative Cooling EHU and Intelligent Mobile Management iManager M. Let's invite Mr. He Bo, President of Huawei Data Center Facility and Critical Power Product Line, Mr. Sun Xiaofeng, President of Critical Power, and Mr. Fei Zhenfu, President of Huawei Data Center Facility Domain. We also want to invite Chairman Yang Jie from CICC, Mr. Wang Xiaofeng from Lanzhou New District Cultural and Scientific Group, Roger Seuss, CEO of Green Switzerland, Carlo Milana, CEO of STT GDC, to come on the stage together.
And place your hands on the start position of the screen and find out your own start position. Just put your hands on the start position. Okay? 请您到这边。And ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite you to count down together from 5 to 1。接下来的时间，舞台上的各位领导嘉宾，他们在开启的同时，我想邀请现场的各位嘉宾，我们一起倒数5个数，好不好？共同见证荣耀，做好准备，进入5秒倒计时，5、4、3、2、1，请启动。Ladies and gentlemen, let's celebrate the EHU and iManager M launch. 各位，让我们共同掌声见证华为间接蒸发冷却 EHU 和移动智能管理 iManager M 的正式发布。Okay, gentlemen, I'd like to invite you to come to the center of the stage and take a picture together. 来，各位，邀请大家共同汇聚在舞台中央。And could you please show great to the future of our own? 请各位共同竖起大拇指，指向前方。好的 ，Could you please show great together to our future? 掌声见证各位。Let's take our memorable moment together. Thank you all, and please have your seats. 请各位领导落座，谢谢各位。各位嘉宾。
In recent years, our leading data center operators are actively embracing new business opportunities and moving forward with courage. At this summit, we are honored to invite many global industry leaders to share their valuable experience and best practices in data center construction.
Our next speaker, Mr. Teng Jianjun, Director of the Data Center Management Department, Huawei Cloud, to present on Huawei Cloud Data Center Best Practices Sharing. 首先，让我们共同有请华为云数据中心管理部部长滕建军先生为大家分享华为云数据中心的最佳实践。掌声有请。
我是来自华为云数。
Hello everyone, I'm Teng Jianjun from Huawei Cloud Data Center Business. It is my great pleasure to share with you some of Huawei Cloud's practices on this summit, which is our global storage and computing network. We want our service to be accessible to everywhere, and that requires a globalized layout. So this network covers not only the network, but also data centers. This is our commitment. The previous speakers shared the idea of sustainable development. So I want to thank Ulaanbaatar government for the support and mayor and the vice mayor. Right now in Ulaanbaatar, 58% of our electricity for the data centers are green electricity. Second, reliability is key. So we just now looked at the reliability of the products, but also the data centers, because today Huawei Cloud supports all industries. Speakers just now talked about many industry-specific practices. Cloud service vendors face tremendous challenges, like the case about the DC in Hong Kong, because the customers can feel something is going wrong immediately and they require immediate recovery. So reliability is critical. Moreover, we want Huawei Cloud to offer extraordinary experience with good cost effectiveness. And that is done through the reduction of operation costs. In Huawei data center, the PUE is optimal. In our data center in Dongguan, the design PUE was 1.3, but through continuous improvement and adoption of AI, the PUE is now lower and 1.27 right now to be exact. Also, I want to share with you Huawei Cloud's global strategy. We consist of 3 levels. First, Cloud Ocean. Those are millions of servers in one scale in Inner Mongolia, Guizhou, and Anhui provinces. Which serve as the hub for the global data centers. And then outside China, we are building global centers in Singapore and Ireland. Those each has a scale of 100,000 of servers. Then in hotspot areas, we deployed Cloud C. They serve as regional centers. I'm sure many of you have learned about our launch. Like last year in Indonesia and Turkey, we provisioned new regions. In Hong Kong, Thailand, South Africa, Mexico, and many others, we truly built the 3AZ architecture. This year in Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and the Philippines, we will build more regions and launch them this year. And for the mega cities, we deploy the cloud legs. Those serve as the edge access to meet the low latency requirements. In deploying the 3AZ architecture, first of all, why do we need 3AZ? A general architecture of data center has an availability about 99.9% and is never 100%. You can migrate between different clouds, but the prerequisite is that you have data backup. So we would take this as a priority, which is to provide reliable and stable cloud services to the customers. And number one principle is the 3AZ architecture, so that our customers can be rest assured. This is a big challenge for my team, because right now I need to deploy 3AZ in many regions. That's 3 DCs being opened at the same time. And we encounter lots of challenges during the operation. Our data servers serve Huawei Cloud, whereas other companies deploy the physical servers. When other companies need 1 DC, we need 3, and they need to be kept by a certain distance so as to ensure disaster redundancy. So the latency requirement is 1.5 millisecond. Let me talk from the operational perspective and share with you that there are immense challenges that we face for data centers. I said often that there are several characteristics of the data centers I manage, from north to south, from east to west, and I cover different generations of DCs. From south to north, right now today we are in Ulaanbaatar. We have EHU solution that maximize the natural cooling. In the southern part of China, chilled water systems are still widely adopted. And that means these legacy systems need to be functional. In China, the redundancy is 2 plus 1, 3 plus 1, but in overseas, we encounter 10 plus 2 redundancy requirements. And such difference can lead to accidents because the O&M team needs to familiarize themselves with all kinds of different systems. If it's a consistent system like 2 plus 1 redundancy architecture, then that's much better. If you have more chilled water systems, the response time can be slower. If you are performing well in the Chinese system, you may not be so in an overseas system. And I share with you some of the accidents that the competitors had. But through our digital platform and on-site handling, we managed to recover the services and ensure stable operation of the customers.
This is our field engineers wearing a mask of oxygen, and they are putting the carbon dioxide into the data center. And on the left, that's the digital platform. I remember clearly that I spent a day and a night to coordinate this project, trying to make sure everything is handled well. This is the kind of pressure that we face. Operation needs to achieve optimal efficiency. We want to make sure not a single kilowatt hour electricity is wasted. At L1, L0, we have technologies, the hardware, the servers, storage, communication equipment, transmission equipment. These are the domains we know well. We know not just the equipment, but also their chips. Within a cabinet, when you are touring our data centers, maybe you will see that the TOR of our cabinet, it's called the TOR, is short for top of rack. But practices show that the switches should be placed in the center, because when we put it higher, the temperature of the air will be also higher. As a central node, switches being put on the top do not get sufficient cooling. My team is also responsible for the maintenance of the IT equipment. So we realize when we put that equipment in the center, it can gain the optimal cooling performance and efficiency. We have coordinated the power supply and cooling capabilities, and also introduce intelligence throughout the entire stack in the least data center. The chillers of partners did not come to its full strength. If our servers kept working, kept emitting heat, temperature would definitely go higher. Then what we did was to shut down part of the servers that would not pose impact on the services of users. And we put the condensed carbon dioxide into the equipment, into the server room to reduce the temperature. That's a story behind the photo I just showed you. Some of our colleagues suffer from a freeze bite without wearing a glove to handle the condensed carbon dioxide. This is the kind of efforts that we make to coordinate different systems. Then PUE optimization. Why can we continuously optimize PUE? A physical server carries the service of customer A today, but maybe tomorrow it carries the services of customer B. And the service might emit different amount of heat when carrying different services. Our systems are required to dynamically adjust to meet the requirements of different services. My team continuously adjusts the system to make sure that the PUE is optimized continuously. We believe that we are on the right track to deliver this year's KPI commitment again. Then next, I would like to share how we build industry-leading cloud data center with productization and intelligence. Power supply module. Data centers will be in the service for 10 to 15 years. Continuous operation and O&M are critical. Battery, UPS, power distribution, the bus module, they were all supplied by different vendors in the past. When there is an issue in a module, we didn't know who we should talk to. And it usually took a lot of effort for us to identify where the problem was. This used to be a very time-consuming process. What we do today is to gain visibility. The power module will identify and analyze each unit inside the system. Then we don't need to maintain that many network elements, and maintenance becomes easier, and that shortens the MTTR. Why do we need to fix a faulty system? Data centers today are distributed in different locations. Then different territories have different power supply systems. In South Africa, maybe there will be up to 6 times mains outage in a day, because many of the switches have been serving for too long, and the switches usually shut down themselves to protect themselves. This is rather dangerous for our data centers. Mains, transformers, server batteries have all experienced different faults. What we try to do is reduce the number of network elements and make sure that the recovery can be done fast. The professional tasks can be handled by partners. Take AHU as an example. Chilled water system is an integrated engineering solution. When the pipes are laid on the ground or deployed on the ceiling of a data centers, we usually cannot access them easily because there are insulations outside these pipelines. But today, after deploying cables or pipelines underground or to the places that cannot be easily accessed, we will also develop a digital identity of these assets. AHU. Well, we know that chilled water has a pump the chilled water machines, and many other vendors. All of them supplied one set of chilled water system, but AHU is a one unit solution provided by one vendor that covers all the functions of the previous units. We see data center as a product, as an offering. We designed the pipe layout, the cable layout inside data centers. Regarding digitalization, Huawei has enjoyed the dividends of digitalization. In the recent years, the accidents in our data center are not high profile because our power supply links, our cooling links, and all other links are all visible, are all visualized. Take temperature as an example. Maybe according to national standard, when the temperature reaches 18 to the normal working temperature of the server room is 18 to 20 to 37 degrees Celsius. An alarm will only be generated when the temperature reaches 38 degrees Celsius. But we know that OBS in the storage is more sensitive to high temperature, while the servers in data centers are not that sensitive to the temperatures that is slightly higher than the working threshold. What we do today is to implement different warning or alarm policies in different systems. When there is a potential threat, a war room will be set up quickly, and engineers, including myself, will be assigned to these war rooms. The war rooms are designed to navigate us through the potential threats. We also have the 24/7 monitoring system in place. Those are the efforts we have made in digitalization. Then let's turn our eyes to our data centers in Gui'an and Ulanqab. In Ulanqab, PUE is reduced to 1.15. With liquid cooling technology, the PUE has been reduced to 0.9 in the field. We adopt AHU to achieve this PUE. The next step in Ulanqab is to use direct ventilation to replace the indirect ventilation, because we found that the environmental temperature and the air volume and pollutants are not that high in Ulanqab. That makes the data centers here that makes it possible for data centers here to use the direct ventilation and leverage the natural cooling sources as much as possible. In our data centers in Dongguan, we used initially the chill water system for cooling. Later, chill water cooling was replaced by AHU. The PUE in this data center is lower than the design PUE. Achieving the design PUE is already challenging, but we managed to reduce the PUE to lower than the designed value. We, as a cloud vendor, together with the cooling system, we optimized the entire system to achieve this ambition, and Huawei is transforming to embrace full lithium battery. There are 4 generations of data centers in the market. The legacy data centers are still using lead-acid batteries. When there is an outage of power, they might not be able to kick in. But lithium batteries are smart by nature. AI requires computing power, algorithm, and data. Then we have computing power, we have algorithm because we're a cloud vendor. What we need is data. Then we work with partners to gather more data. And this is already achieved with many partners. With that effort, features of batteries can be sensed and analyzed by our algorithms in the background. With that, we are able to know how long it can support the system operation when there is an outage. Our data center in Latin America has worked with the partner. The partner was very confident. The partner said they had performed battery inspections on quarterly basis according to international standard. But we know that international standard usually needs certain time to update. In the background, we identified issues and replaced the batteries and eliminate the risks. And that's all from me today. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Teng Jianjun. There are more incredible speeches coming. To make data center low carbon, intelligent, telecom operators have achieved great results.
Deputy General Manager of Planning and Construction Department of China Mobile Communications Group, CO Limited, to share about build new green data center to promote low carbon development of computing infrastructure. 下面让我们共同有请中国移动通信集团有限公司计划建设部副总经理商亮先生，他已经走上舞台，为大家分享如何构建新型绿色数据中心，推动算力设施低碳发展。
好，尊敬
Leaders, colleagues, good afternoon. I'm glad to have the opportunity to meet you in the beautiful and the cool city Ulaanbaatar, described as the Cloud Valley on the grassland, to share with you the innovative practices of green smart DCs and seek the development of new data centers. My topic today is building a new green data center and promoting the low carbon development of computing facilities. First part, macro policies, development trends, and challenges. A report of the 20th National People's Congress clearly pointed out that accelerating the development of digital economy, promoting in-depth integration of digital economy and real economy, and building digital industrial cluster with international competitiveness, optimize infrastructure layout, structure, functions, and system integration, and build a modern infrastructure system. The Eastern Data and Western Compute project clearly defines the layout of data centers, flows data from the eastern part to the western part for storage and computing, guides large data centers together in the west, rationally utilizes resources, and promotes the construction of data center clusters in the western part, thus facilitating the industry to drive economic development. The 3-year action plan for the development of new data centers proposed 4 high capabilities of data centers with high technology, high computing power, high energy efficiency, and high security, support economic and social digital transformation, intelligent upgrade, and converged innovation. Driven by application requirements such as 5G, industrial internet, cloud computing, and AI, aggregate diversified data resources, use green and low carbon technologies, and enable all industries. The NDRC and other departments released the implementation plan on carbon peak and carbon neutrality and promote a green and high quality development of new infrastructure and require data center and renewable resource utilization efficiency to improve. Currently, the average PUE is required to be lower than 1.3 and those critical be 1.25 and below. The country is putting data center top on its agenda. Currently, the digital economy has entered a new stage of deepened application, standardized development, and inclusive sharing. AI and intelligent computing are deployed ahead of schedule, and diversified computing infrastructures are continuously developed. The 14th five-year plan points out that by 2025, the added value of China's core digital economy industries will increase from 7.8% to 10% of GDP in 2020. According to IDC, the digital economy and GDP of the 15 key countries will grow by 3.5 and 1.8, 0.1 percentage points, respectively. The digital economy will drive the rapid growth of computing power in data centers. According to the Guide to Innovation and Development of Intelligent Computing Centers, China's intelligent computing power will reach 268 EFLOPS in 2022, and it is estimated that the compound annual growth rate of China's intelligent computing power will reach 52.3% in the next 5 years. Let's talk about ChatGPT, which consumes massive amount of computing power for training and daily operation maintenance. In April, its official website has a total number of 1.7 billion visits. Then the total requirement is 13,926 pflops per day. And we're talking about ChatGPT alone. As more applications like ChatGPT become popular, the requirement on computing power will explode. And data center will usher in a period of rapid development. However, the development of data centers still face problems such as high energy efficiency requirements, difficult O&M, and security challenges. How to effectively improve PUE, reduce operation costs, achieve the carbon neutrality goal, and help the data center achieve green and low carbon and sustainable development. Second part, China Mobile exploration and practices. China Mobile has built 4+N+31+X data center system and has built an information infrastructure capability of multi-layered. On the one hand, we implement the national strategy, integrate the eastern part and the western part, connect the two hubs, and implement the Eastern Data Western Compute strategy. On the other hand, multiple levels of data centers will be coordinated to implement resource deployment in a multi-layered manner. In terms of transmission network, we will build intelligent, differentiated, and high bandwidth transmission networks. We will promote GSSR 6, flow detection, and APN6 to realize intelligent scheduling and flexible openness. In terms of differentiation, we will open the OXC deployment scope and promote the IP slicing and FGOTN technologies. In terms of high bandwidth, accelerate the 400G routers and OTN. Promote the maturity of 50G PON and focus on key frequency bands and deploy G654E optical cables in an orderly manner. In the data center field, China Mobile has carried out its strategy in 5 aspects so as to overcome the difficulties and has come up with a comprehensive technology stack to meet the requirement of low cost and high speed. It can be widely used in the construction of new digital and intelligence computing network infrastructure. Through standardization, China Mobile has optimized data center standardization solution and formed a professional technical solution for self-use and IDC development. The standardized design solution has evolved for 6 generations with a total construction scale of several million square meters and a design PUE of 1.2. We have the optimal cost and energy-saving performance in the industry. To efficiently support the implementation of the carbon neutrality strategy, China Mobile manages the whole process from the planning construction period to the initial stage of production and then to the operation period based on the power domain and business domain. Accelerate technology iteration, controllable energy efficiency, refined management, and intelligent data support to build a full lifecycle management system for data center PoE, ensuring that the PoE meets national requirements. China Mobile also works with China Telecom and China Unicom to promote the development and application of liquid cooling technology. On June 5th, on the 31st Expo of China Computing Innovation and Development, China Mobile, China Telecom, and China Unicom released a technical white paper for liquid cooling for telecom operators. The three basic proposals were made. We should gather joint forces, strengthen cooperation, improve standards, and demonstrate and verified demonstrations. We have formulated 3-year vision. By cooperation with upstream and downstream departments, we can focus on tackling the key problems. We believe that PoE is key to liquid cooling technologies, and the key to large-scale application is TCO. The key to high-quality developments of the liquid cooling technology is the improvement of the ecosystem. And we will work with different sectors, build consensus for in-depth collaboration, and work together to build new ecosystem featuring leading technologies, openness, and sharing. In recent years, China Mobile has won many honors in the field of green data centers. We successfully applied for the NDRC Green Demonstration Project. A total of 15 data centers were awarded the National Green Data Center title. 18 data centers awarded the National Typical Cases of New Data Centers, and 13 cases were selected as high-quality enterprises cases of large data centers. We believe that by introducing liquid cooling and cooperating with others on the closed-loop PoE management, China Mobile will emerge as a more green and advanced data center operator. Last but not least, let me share with you our development vision. We propose 3 visions for the green data center field. Number 1, to fully, completely, and accurately implement national strategy, serve the country, support the continuous expansion. Second, continuously improve our 4+N+31+X data center planning and layout, and build data center system. Number 3, China Mobile vigorously promotes the R&D and application of new technologies such as liquid cooling, and keep building green digital intelligent infrastructure that is safe and reliable. China Mobile will continue to make efforts in building new green data centers, make long-term contributions to low-carbon development, and make new and greater contributions to the evolution of the whole society. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Shang Liang, for your wonderful sharing.
各位朋友，数字化转型不仅仅为中国，也为全。
Digital transformation has created new opportunities not just for China but also outside of China. Next, let's invite Roger Swiss, CEO of Green Switzerland, for a speech. He will talk about his outlook on European data centers development.
数据中心发展的新机遇。Now let's welcome Mr. Roger Swiss, CEO of Green Switzerland, to share with us the speech of taking advantage of the growing technology demand in Europe. Let's welcome.
你好, and
Let's give applause.
and thank you for having me. So, while I traveled from Europe to Beijing and then sort of to Inner Mongolia, you know, for me, I've been many, many times to China. but this is my first time to Inner Mongolia. And so what a beautiful place, but yet what a different place it is compared to some of those major cities. Now, you may feel very, very similar when you think of Europe and how Europe actually opens up itself to you. So hopefully within the next sort of 15 minutes, I can give you a little bit of insight of how Europe works, some of the challenges you may face, but also some of the opportunities that lay ahead of you. So maybe very quickly, a little bit about me. So I think as I learned in China, most important is the QR code. So that's my WeChat. Please take advantage to get in touch. I think what really helped me in this environment was that I, throughout my journey, was able to actually see the view from the enterprise, so your and my current customers, to see the cloud providers and sort of understand what their needs are, but now thirdly, becoming a provider as a telco and data center provider, running as the CEO of both units. Now, Green is a 100% sustainable leading data center provider within Switzerland. We've been winning sort of the leadership quadrant for a number of times. We really act independent, so we try to be neutral and independent across all the varieties, whether it's carrier neutrality, cloud neutrality, and of course sort of country neutrality. I think something that made us very proud this year is that the partnership and friendship that we have with Huawei actually resulted in winning the best data center design for Europe just the beginning of this year. So thinking about Europe and looking at where we are there, I think for a lot of Chinese companies, the focus has been on mainland China for good reasons. I mean, you have 1.4 billion people, so there's a lot of market to capture, a lot of things to digitize. But now looking sort of after that next wave, after Asia, broader Asia, the next wave is really about Latin America and Europe. And particularly Europe, if you look at the BIP of nearly $17 billion is a tremendous opportunity. Now, as you enter in those markets, you may think about sort of what's the ease of doing business, what's the ease of entry, how can I scale, but also, and not least, think about the power of purchase. So is the country that you're entering actually able to pay a superior price for a superior service? We heard quite neatly today from Charles Yang on all the opportunities that lie ahead. So if we look at cloud alone, it's $113 billion that is estimated for Europe. Now, of course, AI, gaming, e-commerce, but also IoT, which is underdeployed within Europe, just further fuels that growth. What's interesting for us is as we look at that growing market, I think you'll also see that there is a growing challenge, especially for the incumbents. So those markets that's been the early winners ended up to be the most challenged. Right now, there is a lot of anxiety within the public. There is worry, is there enough power certainty? How do they live up to those carbon goals? And while the politician, of course, immediately, and very typical to Europe, reacted with regulations, which kind of creates that challenge for those incumbents, it also is an opportunity for the new ones. Those on the right side here, really the up and coming. And it's up on us to now be smart and sort of build smartly right from the beginning, build with those goals in mind, with those regulations in mind. Now, Switzerland, and that's one of the locations as you do this and go into those markets, you should think about, you have sort of an additional consideration there is a level of decoupling happening, and at the same time, and that's important to understand Europe, Europe is not one country, it's many, many individual countries. So while that decoupling allows you to think about where to place your data and compute, at the same time, there is a tremendous emphasis and focus on data sovereignty. So the question of how do I protect the data that I have in a specific space? And so as you look for those locations, it's important that you keep that level of central deployment, but you want to do it, if you do those big bets, into a safe environment, into a stable environment, and of course, into a sustainable environment. So what does that mean? Let me explain it a bit more on a few more slides. So when we talk about sort of that level of safety, there is a question of, is the environment providing enough sustainable power? And has it really a sort of a closed circuit? You have to imagine Europe is sort of a large power grid that's highly connected, yet there are individual states, individual countries contributing. And so one sort of focus, particularly around Switzerland, was how do we play along that broader grid, but create a level of independence? So in some of the discussions that I had earlier on this event, I highlighted that Switzerland is sort of the battery of Europe. So while there is a surplus or an excess of power, it's really the hydro environment that is utilized to store that energy and then sort of release it upon need, again, back to the European grid. At the same time, Switzerland was always sort of very focused on stability. So of course we still would do generator deployments and sort of N+2 type setups. It does have an extremely reliable grid when it comes to networks, but also electricity. And then last but not least, I think one element out of the neutrality was really a decoupling. So while other countries have a high coupling either to oil or gas, we sort of very early on try to decouple from those other mainstream drivers in order to maintain that neutrality and power. Now, stable and also to some extent safe means that you can rely on not only what was yesterday, but also what will be today and tomorrow, especially again, as you drive sort of large investments. And so one thing that we were very keen on also talking to the government was how could we create the tax regime that sort of really supports enterprises and their growth, but also supports models where you may have technology that you bring from China or other places into Europe and want to deploy it. You don't want to be taxed additionally as you bring that intellectual property into Europe. And so Switzerland, in that regard, has a very unique law where as long as you use it to deliver your services, that tax is going to be waived. Of course, you want to have a market where you can rely on staff, on labor. And this is another thing that's sort of a bit unique to Switzerland in Europe, but very similar to China in that regard, that we don't know strikes. That just doesn't happen. So it's something that is very important to us, that you have a good labor market. And of course, have the innovation. So it's not by coincidence that Huawei had its core hub in Switzerland. Google, as another one, has over 10,000 people in Switzerland driving innovation. It's really down to those universities. When we look at sustainability, I think extremely important is that, as we heard many times today, that it's something that it's baked in. It's done right from the beginning. It's part of your design. It's part of how you have your values, how you drive sort of scale. And this is one thing where we uniquely driven the coexistence, and I almost go as far as the circular economy, where actually as we use sustainable power, reuse the heat, we basically get twice the value of an individual power circle, and it allowed us to, just out of one data center, to save more than 20 tons of CO2, and sort of power up and heat over 3,500 households. And as you multiply with each sort of like 10, 12 megawatt deployment, this is a tremendous contribution. And all of a sudden, a data center becomes part of the solution rather than being a problem. Now, something that I can't emphasize enough is really the technology that I see each and every time I visit China. It's tremendous what you do. It's tremendous what you do in terms of technology advancement, but also use. You have unique ways of applying technology, and it's something that I always feel sad. Why don't I see more of that technology in Europe? So I can only sort of urge you, really use the challenge, take on the challenge, come to Europe with conviction, and deploy that innovation that you bring to bear in China. As we learned, sort of, and I think it's even a Chinese saying, you know, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So it's by no surprise that we are here, Green is here, the European data centers are here to support you with that data center capacity, with the connectivity needed across Europe, back to homeland China, back to the US if needed for those services. You know, we enable you. Please, utilize us as a footprint to extend your business into Europe. And so let us grow and prosper together. Shisha. Thank you.
Thank you, Roger, for your brilliant speech. Thank you. 大家可以拿出手机扫描。
Feel free to use a smartphone and scan the contact QR code of Roger. Roger really knows about China. Then next, let's turn our eyes from Europe to Asia Pacific and take a look at how DC operator in the Philippines capture the opportunity and achieve sustainable development. Next, let's welcome Mr. Carlo Malana, CEO of STT GDC, to deliver the speech.
CEO of STT GDC on the stage to present on unleashing the digital potential, a sustainable path to data center excellence. Let's welcome.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for this opportunity to speak here today and share my thoughts. It's actually my first time in China today. I arrived last night, my first time flying into the very, very large airport in Beijing, and took a very, very fast train to go to Ulaanbaatar today. Very beautiful country, very beautiful area, and very hospitable. Thank you so much. Today, I'd like to share some of my thoughts in this summit, our Global Smart Green Data Center Summit 2023, where technology around the world converges. It is truly an honor to stand before such an esteemed audience of tech leaders, digital and cloud innovators, investors, partners, and suppliers. Today, I want to share with you a vision, an exciting vision of the growing digital landscape in the Philippines and how our country is poised to become the next data center co-location hub in Southeast Asia. But before I delve into the world of technology and data centers, I'm sure you've heard enough from our previous speakers for that. Let me take a moment to appreciate the unique beauty of the Philippines. Many of you may know our country for its stunning beaches, vibrant festivals, and friendly people. However, the Philippines is more than just a tropical paradise. It is a nation brimming with immense potential in the digital realm. Southeast Asia is experiencing remarkable growth in the digital economy, and the Philippines is emerging as a key player in this dynamic landscape. Our strategic location with easy access to key markets in the region and beyond, positions us as a gateway to Asia and the world. We have implemented significant investments in undersea cables and cable landing stations, enabling faster and more reliable internet connectivity with even more cables under construction. In addition, major investments in renewable energy from geothermal, wind, and solar, including one of the largest solar farms in the world, are being built for the coming years. One interesting fact is that Filipinos are one of the most digitally savvy nations in the world. In a fast-growing population of 116 million Filipinos, the second largest in Southeast Asia, more than 70% have access to and regularly connect to the internet. Studies have also shown that the average Filipino uses the internet, specifically social media, for more than 10 hours a day, even being one of the most prolific content creators and users in apps like TikTok. However, the country is just beginning to see digital at scale, with increasing adoption in both business and government sectors. At ST Telemedia Global Data Centers, Philippines, we are at the forefront of driving this digital transformation. Our company, ST Telemedia Global Data Centers, has a strong presence worldwide and in the Philippines. And we are committed to creating an ecosystem that fosters innovation, sustainability, and growth. And so, recognizing the need to bring hyperscalers near their customers, SCT GDC Philippines has been making great strides in expanding our data center footprint. Our latest achievements include the groundbreaking of the 124 megawatt data center in STT Fairview in Quezon City, at the heart of Metro Manila, and the expansion of our existing data centers by an additional 5.2 megawatts this year. Currently, we operate 22 megawatts of IT capacity across 5 data centers, but in the next 3 years, we are poised to almost triple that capacity. Our STT Fairview campus alone, when fully built out, will more than double the current utilized capacity in the entire country. This is a testament to our commitment to driving growth, not only in infrastructure development, but also in nurturing talent and promoting sustainable practices in scaling digitalization. We are building the largest and most interconnected data center campus in the Philippines to global industry standards, with green practices such as recycled steel and embodied carbon reductions, as well as AI and liquid cooling readiness that we've heard from our speakers earlier. We seek to incorporate the latest advances discussed earlier this afternoon by our previous speakers and make it a reality in our country. As we build new facilities, we transform both the infrastructure we have today as well as the new infrastructure that is planned for tomorrow. We want to manage the new way that infrastructure is planned, delivered, and managed. And this includes utilizing new battery technologies, including lithium-ion, as Mr. Yang had mentioned earlier. We refresh older UPSs and also add intelligent PDUs, but also incorporate the latest cooling technologies as we build out new data halls in our data centers. We recognize that digitalization brings tremendous benefits, but it also poses environmental challenges, and sustainability needs to happen and be implemented, not just in our building designs, but also in our business practices and in the entire digital ecosystem. This is a topic that's been near and dear with me because I think that the segmented implementation of technology continues to produce a lot of e-waste. One such example of this is in the e-payment sector, for example, in the Philippines, where we witnessed rapid adoption in the past 3 years. Practices like taking photos of reference numbers of payments multiply the amount of data stored by tens of thousands. This is an example of this. Imagine a 1 or 2 byte string of numbers, which is a reference number, but we currently have adopted the digital practice of the accounting systems needing to take a picture, or the waiters taking a picture of your restaurant bill, for example, and your receipt. And while this is good for the data center business, we get more data, it is not good for the sustainability of the digital ecosystem. Another kind of example, which is very personal, is how many of us take multiple pictures and never delete our phones and therefore back up multiple copies of the same content. Just something to keep in mind and how you can personally contribute to decreasing the amount of e-waste in the ecosystem. To truly embrace sustainability in the digital landscape, it is essential to consider a broader range of practices beyond digital payments and responsible data storage. That's why ST Telemedia Global Data Centers Philippines aims to actively collaborate with industry partners, government agencies, and academic institutions to develop frameworks, standards, and guidelines for sustainable practices. Through these collaborations, we aim to drive change and create an ecosystem that fosters innovation, sustainability, and growth. Part of our advocacy is raising awareness about the environmental impact of digital waste, and we actively participate in educational initiatives, industry forums such as this, and public awareness campaigns to promote sustainable practices in the digital landscape. By educating businesses and individuals about the importance of responsible digitalization, we can collectively reduce the environmental footprint associated with unnecessary digital waste. In the pursuit of a sustainable digital future, collaboration is key. Today, I want to emphasize as well the role of China and the Philippines in supporting this growth. China has been a major player in the global digital landscape, driving innovation and technology advancements. The collaboration between China and the Philippines holds great potential for mutually beneficial outcomes. Throughout the years, China has been investing significantly in the Philippines, fostering business collaborations and contributing to our growth of our digital ecosystem. One interesting fact is that as of June 2023, there are more than 41 million active TikTok users in the Philippines, further illustrating the incredible digital engagement and potential within our country. And this stretches across different platforms, aside from the traditional ones. Likewise, the number of Chinese investments in the Philippines has been on the rise, and the presence of Chinese businesses in our country has created synergies, job opportunities, and economic growth. Additionally, the Philippines has become an attractive destination for millions of Chinese tourists each year, which contributes to more than $2.3 billion of economic activity, further strengthening the ties between our nations. By leveraging this partnership, we can further accelerate the growth of the digital landscape in the Philippines. And together, we can support sustainable practices, share expertise, and drive innovation, promoting a greener future for both our nations. As ST Telemedia Global Data Centers Philippines, we are proud to be a major force in the digital revolution. Our commitment to growth, sustainability, and collaboration has positioned us as a key player in the emerging digital economy of Southeast Asia. And as I close my keynote speech, I want to extend an invitation to each and every one of you. Join us in investing in the Philippines to localize your digital presence and partnering with STT GDC Philippines to shape the future of the digital landscape. STT GDC Philippines is your trusted partner in this journey. With our extensive experience, strong global presence, and commitment to sustainability, we offer a solid foundation for your digital infrastructure investments. Together, we can unlock the full potential of the Philippines as the next data center co-location hub in Southeast Asia. Let us together explore the possibilities, engage in fruitful discussions, and consider the immense benefits of investing in the Philippines and collaborating with STT GDC. Together, let us continue to enable our digital future. To end, allow me to share with you a short video, and thank you for all of your attention, and I look forward to the exciting opportunities that lie ahead. 谢谢.
Thank you. Thank you, Carlo. Thank you for your fabulous speech. 好的，各位，接下来的时间，让我们把焦点转回到。
Next, let's turn our focus back to China. Visionary data center operators are building green data centers with higher computing power and serve digital economy.
天宇 CTO of Huawei to share new green computing cluster innovative practice based on the integration of generation grid load storage。接下来，让我们有请北京中科合营数据科技有限公司 CTO 周天宇先生为大家带来什么主题分享呢？请周总为大家揭晓，掌声有请。
大家好，我是。
Hello everyone, I'm Zhou Tianyu from Huawei Data. Today my topic is new green computing cluster innovative practice based on generation grid load storage integration. Before I begin, I want you to recap together with me about the journey of the data center development. The first phase was before 2010, and my keyword was 0 to 1. Before 2010, data centers were something new and were mostly built by repurposing traditional machine rooms of the carriers. As internet companies developed rapidly, that was the first stage of data center. The second stage was from 2010 to 2020. And my keyword for that is cost saving. We look at PUE. In the second stage, people pursue the decimals of PUE by optimizing cooling architecture, performing energy saving, and optimizing the electric topology. We try to minimize the PUE. So the second stage is about saving money and saving electricity. Starting from 2020, when China proposed the carbon peak and carbon neutrality goals at 2030 and 2060 respectively, we have ushered in a new stage. The PUE of 1 point something is the PUE today, but can we use new energy or green energy to perform even better than 1 point something of PUE? So our practice is based on the generation grid load storage integration. I want to share with you some numbers about two important factors that drive data center development. Number one, digital economy. The first 47 ranking countries have more than 38 trillion US dollar of a digital economy, and China ranks number 2 and is still growing rapidly. And as previous speaker said, AI, ChatGPT are becoming more popular since H2 last year. There is now an explosive growth for artificial intelligence. Tech firms such as OpenAI have opened up a new wave of demand for AI computing power. We talk about GPT 3.5, which requires more than 3,000 T of computing power and costs tens of millions of US dollars for each computing. This is an important driving force for data centers. And second, the challenge behind that are, number one, by 2035, China's data center energy consumption will reach more than 50 million kilowatt hours. The energy price will rise in Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, Shenzhen, and other Tier 1 cities. the energy price rise is even more prominent. Data centers need non-stop electricity and hence cannot enjoy the benefits of the price peak and valley gaps. The government is taking measures on the top-level design and provided guidance. Here I show you 4 policies: Eastern Data, Western Compute, the 14th China's 5-year plan for digital economy development, 3rd, renewable energy, and 4th, integration of generation grid load storage. In the past, we used trains to carry coals from the western part of China to the east. Later, electricity was transmitted from west to east through high voltage power lines. Today, we are carrying out Eastern Data and Western Compute project, which is to put computing and storage in the western part of China where natural resources are abundant. Second, grid generation, load, and storage integration of a whole campus. Renewable energy are intermittent. Data centers consume lots of energy. So how do we cope with those challenges? We need integration. In Huailai, Zhangjiakou, we have a typical case. The Zhangjiakou cluster started to become the demonstration zone since 2015. And Zhangjiakou has been a very important place for Beijing. It's a place where there are lots of solar irradiance. Grapes were farmed. It's at the same latitude of France and other regions. But right now, we are making use of its wind and the PV energy.
With the right sunlight, with the right wind, the indirect evaporative cooling can definitely be implemented in an area where in the past we did not think it was possible. Then the Beijing-Tianjin-Hebei Big Data New Energy Pilot Area was put in the deployment. Zhangjiakou is also the largest generation grid load storage integration project in China. Let me show you our specific practices. Our core logic is to explore the path of efficient alignment between energy and computing. New energy resources are used locally by DCs. Then DCs are able to enjoy the affordable electricity, and in the long term, the electricity is also controllable. Generation of electricity comes from the PV and wind power. Then load includes the data centers and other facilities that uses electricity for the long term. Grid is the stable electricity grid of China, and storage is something that we deploy to ensure the stability of new energy electricity. We know that when the sun goes down, when there is no wind, the new energy electricity generation will reduce. Only with the right storage system in place can we ensure the stability of the power supply. Let's take a look at the generation first. In Guyuan, Zhangbei, and Yuxian, 3 counties, we have deployed 5.53 gigawatt power. We have reserved 1 gigawatt for the future. The in 3 years, the 5.53 gigawatt the planned capacity will be available. And on the right, this chart has two curves. The yellow one is the new energy yield, while the blue one is the electricity consumption of data centers. In Huailai area alone, as we can see, every year, 150 million kilowatt hour power comes from new energy sources. With the full deployment of the new energy farms and stations, all the green electricity will be able to suffice or meet the requirements of data centers. That means the entire campus will be net zero and data centers will only use green electricity. The green electricity supplies data centers, offering the stable, reliable, and affordable price in the long term. We can see that the grid electricity cost will go up steadily. But today, with the green electricity, our data center is able to provide affordable and cost-competitive services to our customers. When it comes to generation, well, the first gigawatt will come this year. Then in 3 years, the 5.53 gigawatts will be available completely. That's about the generation. Then grid. We have the Jibei power grid that's built by the country. We can tap into the electricity there. But we have also set up a green electricity exchange platform. There is a campus with over 1,000 acres where we aggregate all users. We collect their green electricity demands and net zero demands all together. And then these needs are used for the electricity wholesale. That allows us to enjoy a more competitive price because we are purchasing for a large amount. Our end users can enjoy 100% green power with this exchange platform. Another effort on the grid side is the distribution. I think the distribution power network in China is the most stable one in the world. There is a forest fire, there is the earthquake impacting the grid stability in other places in the world. But the grid in China is one of the most stable in the world. It is the foundation for offering stable power supply for our customers. Then storage. China has rolled out policy to support the storage of 10 to 20% new energy power. We need to provide 5.53 gigawatt to the grid. Fuel cell traditional solutions are not able to meet that requirement. In Zhangjiakou, there are 7 dams. We have worked with 2 of them to turn the hydro to get the hydropower from the dam. We are also exploring other ways of storage, including electrochemical energy storage. We're exploring many different types of electrochemical energy storage, and fuel cell is another direction we're exploring. When it comes to load, I would like to show you the Huawei Huailai Technology Industrial Park. This is our industrial park in the place called Huailai. Let me show you the specific. The Huawei Industrial Park covers an area of 1,000 acres. Then it must be compliant. That's the top priority. Before construction, we make sure we get the approval from electricity access, and we make sure we can meet the energy consumption requirement from the authority. The 1,000-acre campus is divided into 18 blocks. Each block covers an area of 50 acres, providing 40 to 70 megawatt IT load. And they are ranging from Tier 1 to Tier 4. Also, the campus offers EHU, AHU, liquid cooling. All these technologies can be delivered to different blocks according to the needs. In Zhangjiakou, another critical resource is it's actually the portal of internet export. 200 meters away from our campus, that's the bridge to international internet. The Huailai campus is 7 kilometers away from Beijing. The RT is within 2 milliseconds, meeting the latency demands of services. Power supply architecture. We have 610 and 220 power stations on campus, making sure that the power distribution is controllable. Water supply. There are two water suppliers. One for the power system water supply, another is the tap water water supply. Both of the water plants are accessed by our campus to make sure our infrastructure can run stably. To ensure long-term stable operation, we have developed 3 operation platforms. The first is the Intelligent Data Center O&M platform. As introduced by Huawei, we used intelligent technologies and methods to visualize the key KPIs and the statistics on the UI, and these statistics and KPIs can run automatically and be optimized automatically. The second platform is the cluster-level intelligent computing energy operation platform. It's a platform we use to monitor carbon emission and optimizes carbon footprint. Then the third platform is a customer-oriented net zero strategic value operation platform. It is able to check the green electricity use and the other energy efficiency performance of a specific customer. Then here are some of our innovations that will keep our leadership in the industry. Our integrated power pod supports AC and DC. Also, the efficiency is improved over 97%. Our liquid cooling technology will be able to support the high power density EHU deployment. We can also offer fast delivery. 4 to 5 months are needed for deploy 20 to 30 kilowatt solutions. With IGC, ChatGPT, and AI applications development, our data centers can scale easily. And we can also use other ACs to offer redundancy in the same city. Here is our cooperation with Huawei. Huawei is a relatively new company. It was founded in 2020. When the company came into being, we began to work with Huawei in 5 areas. In 2021, our business embraced a full-blown development. We applied advanced solutions and researched the latest technologies. In 2020 and 2023, we have set up our Innovation Research Institute and tried to gain expertise in finance, autonomous driving, and animation rendering. I hope that Huawei Data can keep working with Huawei and keep working with you to explore the possibility of integrating intelligence and digitalization. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Zhou Tianyu. In recent years, the finance sector has brought incredible value for the society. Its digitalization is even more so. The data center for finance is also evolving.
Center manager of Ping An Technology will share with us next generation green reliable financial data centers. 现在我们的嘉宾真的是抓紧时间，让我们有请平安科技数据中心经理王国兴先生为大家带来主题分享。
刚才主持人说了一个关键词。
Just now, the MC has reminded me about time management in my presentation. We have heard so many incredible speeches that we forgot about time. We have learned a lot about Huawei solutions, and we have done our research in the solutions. Today, we're gathered here in Ulanqab. What's even better is that I got the opportunity to share the development and practices of Ping An regarding the finance data center. Ping An and Huawei are both based in Shenzhen. Shenzhen became a city in 1979. It has celebrated the 43rd anniversary. Ping An was founded on May the 27th in 1988. We celebrate the 35th anniversary this year. So today I would like to share our development journey and how our data centers are.
首先介绍一下。
First, a little bit on Ping An. It was established in Shekou in 1988. Huawei established in Nanshan 1987. So we are both in the Nanshan district. After 35 years of development, right now Ping An ranks #1 in the insurance industry. We rank #1 for the brand value of insurance company, and we are the top 3 comprehensive financial groups of China. Comprehensive finance is our mainstream business, including property insurance, life insurance, securities, and banking, and among many others. We have Fajian and the Shenzhen Commercial Bank that are under Ping An, and Ping An is engaged in a very wide variety of businesses. It is a highly centralized group. After 35 years, we have realized 1 trillion of tax, 1 trillion, or rather 1 trillion RMB of revenue, 100 billion RMB of profit, and our market capitalization is 1 trillion yuan in 2022. Let me talk about the IT of the Ping An Group. We started our cloud business in 2013. We started from insurance, securities, and banking, and built the Ping An Financial Cloud, and verified that ourselves. Right now, 95% of our systems are on cloud. There are in total more than 5,000 systems. For financial sector, the regulation is strong, so compliance is our top priority. We have passed more than 50 certifications home and abroad, including certification by Chinese and overseas regulators and organizations. We are pretty leading in our technologies. We have more than 40,000 patents. So in Fintech, we rank #1 in terms of number of patents. Ping An Financial Cloud is very important. because it is customized for Ping An's requirements and started from virtualization to cloud and later. Coming back to today's topic, financial sector has high requirement on stability. So what about Ping An's data centers? Let me share with you. From planning to the end, we divide that into 5 stages. The first stage was 1988 to 2000, when we focused on property or life insurances. We did not even have servers, but the mainframes, and those were highly scattered. There was no concept of data center. It was just equipment room. There was no standard. There were only specific provisions. Second phase, starting from 2001, we started IT centralization. The IT centralization is about aggregating IT equipment and servers and networks around the country in our headquarters, so that we have in Shenzhen and Shanghai 2 data centers. Shanghai is the production system, Shanghai is the disaster recovery backup. Third phase, 2013 to 2015. National standards were promoted and we built data centers according to standards, and we built 3 data centers in 2 cities and active data centers in Shenzhen. From 2016 to 2018, technology was the key word. So finance plus technology, Fintech was the key word, and we expanded businesses into Beijing and Shanghai. From 2019 to present, we have put forward a 3+1+1 planning. 3 means that in northern, eastern, and southern parts of China, we should deploy 3 core clusters of data centers that support the whole Ping An group in its core businesses. 1 refers to the offline data center that supports our tier 2 businesses, development, testing, disaster recovery, and big data, and also to implement the Eastern Data Western Compute project. And the +1 refers to overseas. So in Hong Kong, we deployed our data center to support our business in Hong Kong and overseas. And that's our plan for the future, 3+1+1. Coming back to technologies, there are 4 stages. Number 1, before 2005, where there was no concept of data center. It was just sporadic IT equipment. The equipment rooms at that time were outdated and quite spontaneous. Mr. Fei said, manager was important, but at that time we basically had no monitoring, inspection, or professional personnel. The whole system was really outdated. I remember one important week at that time was that on every Friday, all the IT people should have a training, and it should be involved in the inspection. Later, we started modularization development. We started planning for modularization starting 2009, according to the national standards. The PUE was 1.6 by design. There were independent buildings adopted. Because before that, DCs were built on existing buildings. We introduced liquid cooling and also air cooling as the redundancy. And for the cooling, we used a steel plate that are soldered on site, and we designed for some air channels. But the PUE was about 1.6. By 2017, we started to have the third generation, and the PUE was 1.4. So we started to have the fluorine pump, the bus bars, UPSs with quite effective O&M tools, and the PUE dropped to 1.4. Today, after 2019, we started to have the fourth generation of green Fintech data center. So we are building a PUE of 1.25. Last year, a new project in Guanlan, Shenzhen, had a PUE of 1.25 from the actual test. Main technologies adopted include indirect evaporative cooling, EHU, and also AHU. Half of our load were cooled by indirect evaporative cooling, and the other half by high temperature chilled water. So in Shenzhen, there is a certain period of time every year for natural cooling. We also developed liquid cooling boards. And also we are planning for the solar energy. And we use Huawei's power module for PV. We also carried out intelligent O&M, because if you want to drop the power efficiency of the water system, you need a highly intelligent water control system, because in early times, we rely on manual adjustment. But right now, the scale is much bigger. The PUE requirement is 1.25. We need full system control. Then let's talk about technology selection. In 2019, we realized PUE 1.25 in Shenzhen. We were motivated to improve energy efficiency, and also there was a requirement from the government for approval of projects. In 2019, the requirement in Beijing was 1.4, in Shanghai was 1.3, and there's more south you go, the lower PUE is required. So it was challenging for us. So we looked into cooling, power distribution, IT equipment, and construction, and thought about technology selection. Because we need to ensure reliability on the one hand, and on the other hand, ensure 1.25 of PUE. So we looked at basically all available companies in the market and looked into the key projects of the financial sector and compared different technical solutions. So for cooling, we adopted indirect evaporative cooling, high temperature chilled water, and cold water board with backboard air conditioner. We adopted efficient UPS and transformers. One of our UPSs run the eco mode. It is still not widely adopted, but in our test, we simulate all kinds of possibilities with full load, and we push the vendors to upgrade their versions to make sure the eco model can ensure the power reliability. There are also other measures such as PUE auto adjustment, and the project was delivered successfully in the end. Let me talk about UPS. This morning we talked about this. From industrial frequency to high frequency UPS, Ping An is at the forefront. In 2011, we started to use this. There were lots of challenges, of course, and Today, people no longer talk about industrial frequency, but high frequency and modularization. People talk about redundancy that ensure greater reliability. We have two UPSs. One adopt heterogeneous mode because I don't want to put all eggs in one basket. The other UPS is on normal mode. So as to improve the UPS efficiency. A maximum target of efficiency is 99.1%. And Huawei talked about super eco mode with even higher efficiency. Next, on cooling. We spent a long time comparing different technologies and chose the stacking AHU model. It was feasible, but we were quite uncertain before this project was finally completed because we developed 7 floors, very, very tall, and there were 34 AHUs deployed, supported by steel structure. We reserved space for air inlet, and we worked to cancel the noise because there are residential communities in the nearby. We also take measures to ensure there is no short circuit and to ensure excellent cable connection and compatibility. If one or two devices are faulty, how are we going to adjust the overall load? So we have done a lot of testing and verifications. We worked on outdoor hot air ventilation simulation and other types of simulations. And we also simulate the situation where one or two devices are faulty, and the conclusion was that the project is feasible. There are other things we did. For example, the backboard. And we want to verify liquid cooling, which we believe is at a quite early phase for the financial sector.
So we would like to introduce liquid cooling to the racks. We turned the chilled water into refrigerants, but we were afraid to simply adopting the liquids inside our equipment. We have tried all we can to optimize the PUE. If every unit can reduce energy consumption, then we would be on the right track to reduce the PUE. The UPS monitoring system, the support, and the chilled water optimization system were all in place. About chilled water cooling, one of the buildings in the south used AHU, another building in the north used the chilled water system with a temperature between 18 to 24 degrees Celsius. Compared with the traditional 12 to 18 degrees Celsius range, the chilled water solution we used could improve the energy efficiency by 15%. The wind inlet needs to meet the requirements of Category A server room. And we also used other methods to pass the tests in the project. Eventually, the PUE achieved 1.25. The testing was conducted according to the national standard. The testing began at 10 a.m. and lasted all the way to 11 p.m. The temperature was set between 26 to 33 degrees Celsius. The humidity 68% to 94%. Eventually, the reading of the PUE was 1.2479, and the test was in June, the hottest season in Shenzhen. Then according to estimation, throughout the year, we could reduce the PUE to 1.24. We want the certification in the industry, and MIT has certified us as a demo case. And we also want the Innovation Award. These test results of PUE was observed in the field test. This is not very common in the industry, and it is the first in China. That's about our latest. This is the 35 years since we were founded. Ping An is aiming to become a company that lasts for at least 100 years. Then, moving into the future, digital power, digital technologies, IT, and partners are all needed for Ping An to grow, to make sure we can become a green, low carbon, and high availability financial data centers. That's all from me. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Wang. Next, we will come to the very last presentation of the summit. Dr. Li has introduced that the data center development requires the combination of industry and academic, and Huawei believes only with the combined forces of partner can we create better value for customers.
Manager of Huawei Data Center Facility and Critical Power Consulting and Ecosystem Solution Department to share his thematic speech. 接下来，让我们共同有请华为数据中心能源及关键供电咨询与生态解决方案部总经理税玉先生为大家带来主题演讲。掌声有请。
各位领导
Ladies and gentlemen, dear distinguished guests, good afternoon. Thank you for joining our summit today. My name is Sui Yu, responsible for Huawei Data Center Facility Ecosystem Solution. Charles has introduced the next generation data center philosophy, and Mr. Fei has showed us the latest data center facility solutions. And today, I am showing you another solution from Huawei called Fusion DC. Fusion DC has won the #1 in the shipment around the world for 8 consecutive years in 65 countries and regions. The solution has been deployed at a large scale. It has achieved a accumulated 400 megawatt IT capacity. The total shipment is over 8,000 containers. With standardized design, prefabricated modules, and installation, this solution creates value for customers faster. With 12 years exploration, Huawei Fusion DC has become the #1 brand of prefabricated modular data center in the world. Why can we achieve this? Back in 2012, Huawei began to make investments in this domain. Our continuous R&D investment and innovation enabled every generation of Fusion DC to be the pioneer in the industry. The first generation Fusion DC, called All-in-One, was launched in 2012. It was able to achieve IP55 and intensity 9 earthquake rating. Then later in 2015, we rolled out the first multi-cabin separation design. Multiple data centers can be spliced together so that TTM was improved. Also, high density could be a reality. Then later in 2018, we rolled out the building level solution. Huawei's Panshi architecture was the first one that supported 3 to 5 layer stacking. 6 months will make 1,000 racks deployment possible. The optimal PUE also was achieved. Now, facing higher complexity, we need to be low carbon, we need to meet the requirements of intelligence and high density. Then how should the Fusion DC evolve in the next generation? I'm happy to show you the Fusion DC 5.0. Let's take a look at a video. Thank you. This is the new generation Fusion DC 5.0, the next generation prefabricated modular data center solution. Huawei always would like to help customers build data centers better and easier, build better data centers. We hope to reduce TTM and meet customized requirements. Fusion DC 5.0 offers 1+4+N architecture. The 1 represents unified one architecture. We have looked at the past 10-year best practices of Huawei and identified the best models and architecture, then consolidated them into the system, making sure the optimal performance of the system. 4 are the core mechanical modules, being IT module, power supply module, cooling module, and battery module. Each module can function independently, or they can be combined together to become data centers of different scales. Each module comes with the latest technologies of Huawei, and each of the modules can achieve the optimal energy efficiency and represents multiple ecosystem partner solutions, including the subframes and transformers, etc. We allow customized services and diverse services to customers, and all these solutions will be packed into one to customers. Next, I would like to show you 3 highlights of Fusion DC 5.0. First is multiple building forms. Our past generation solutions could only put containers together that posed limitations on the deployment scenarios. Now, Panshi architecture has been upgraded to 2.0. Then the splicing nodes can also between modules. What's more, the form factors of the solution can be adapted to different form factors of buildings. And with the 4 core mechanical modules, we can flexibly combine the modules together to create different levels of DCs, including zone level DC, pod level DC, building level DC, and campus level DC. Based on the power density, different cooling solutions can be used for diverse scenarios. The second highlight will be full capabilities. Huawei Fusion DC integrates the advanced technologies of Huawei Digital Power. It's the solution that implements our GSSR data center facility philosophy. We use the EHU solution to achieve the optimal PUE. PUE in northern part of China can achieve 1.2, in the Middle East 1.45. We also implement the next generation power module, the Fusion Power 3.0, to improve the efficiency to 97.8%. Regarding simple design, standardized modular and prefabricated designed allow the delivery to be done between 6 to 9 months. The solution is also smart. We use side cooling to automatically perform optimization. The solution is also reliable. It can withstand the 8 intensity earthquake and the 12 intensity wind. The third highlight is all scenario. Data centers are not just server rooms anymore. Data centers are more like a facility that need to meet diverse requirements. Facing the diverse requirements of customers, we will have to address the customized requirements. We work with partners to meet their scenario-based diverse requirements. We can now serve large-scale colo, ICT convergence, liquid cooling high density, and low-carbon campus. We want to make sure the quality is optimal.
So we enable our partners with our products, but also our patents, our process, and product quality management techniques, so that our partners can also enjoy high quality of products and also can have their diversified requirements be met. For Huawei Fusion DC 5.0, apart from the technologies and the platform, we need more partners to join us. So solution will act as the foundation, and we have built a solution ecosystem alliance with 3 types of partners: consulting design partners, solution development partners, and integrated delivery partners. This way, we can cover the full production process and provide customers with better products and services. We will play to our strength and share opportunities and set standards together with partners. Walking along fast, walking together far. That's the quote that I want to share with you as an ending remark. Huawei will gather strength with partners and promote shared success of data centers. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Shui Yu, and please remain on stage. As you said, walking along fast, walking together far. Building the solid foundation for the future digital world is inseparable from the concerted efforts of our partners. Today, let's take this opportunity to witness the official establishment of Huawei Data Center Solution Partner Alliance. Let's invite Mr. He Bo, President of Huawei Data Center Facility and Critical Power, Mr. Sun Xiaofeng, Huawei Data Center Facility and Critical Power, Mr. Shui Yu, Huawei Data Center Facility Ecosystem and Solution Department. Coming up next, the partners of this alliance will come on stage. So, let's welcome Shanghai Deheng Data Technology Company, Mr. Wang Ping, Mr. Li Tianshan, Information Industry Electronics 11th Design and Research Institute. China Post Construction Technology, Mr. Li Cheng. Mr. Tian Yuan, Zhongtong Service Consulting Design Research Institute. Mr. Kuai Ming, Dongguan Yangtian Electronic Technology Company Limited. Mr. Zhang Bin, China Energy Construction Group, Guangdong Electric Power Design and Research Institute. Mr. Li Yang, Beijing Yihualu Information Technology. Mr. Zhang Xue, Guangdong Southern Telecom Planning Consulting Design Institute. Mr. Zheng Xuecheng, Shenzhen CIMC Construction Company. Mr. Lu Hao, Huaxing Consulting Design and Research Institute. Mr. Li Jishang, Guangzhou Railway Vehicle Corporation Limited. Mr. Ha Feng, Guangdong Telecom Planning and Design Institute. Mr. Zhou Wei, Yimikang Technology Group. Mr. Wu Xiaohui, China Architectural Standard Design and Research Institute. Mr. Song Changwei, Weichai Power Company Limited. Mr. Feng Lijing, Shanghai Architectural Design and Research Institute. Now please come on stage. Each one of you is critical. You have a start module on your hand. Please place it in front of you. It's a red button. And we will count down. When the countdown finishes, please press the red button together. Now, let's count down from 5. Thank you very much. Each one of you has a different color that represent the diversity of the Ecosystem Alliance. And let's take a group photo.
谢谢，感谢各位领导，邀请各位领导落座。
Thank you, and please be seated.
谢谢，谢谢大家。Well, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate all speakers for their wonderful speeches and sharing. It makes us more determined to continue strengthen the cooperation with all experts, friends, and partners to build an open, cooperative, and innovative industrial environment and promote the healthy and sustainable development of the data center industry. And now, I'll have great honor to announce the meeting is included. 尊敬的各位嘉宾，到这里，此次论坛的 Keynote 环节已全部告一段落。再次感谢所有领导、嘉宾的出席，感谢各位嘉宾的精彩分享。相信与会的各位嘉宾也收获颇丰。我们始终与客户、伙伴、产业链在一起，抓住时代赋予我们的机遇，持续技术创新，构建开放、合作、创新的产业生态。共建绿色、极简、智能、安全的数据中心，并且引领数据中心产业的发展和前行。 接下来，我荣幸的宣布，2023全球数据中心产业论坛圆满结束。再次感谢所有的朋友，谢谢大家。在这里也要做一个温馨提示，首先邀请大家将各位的同传耳机就置于各位的座位之上。Please leave your earphone on your chairs and thank you for your cooperation. 与此同时呢，要通知各位在6点。